On opening day, the Birds beat the Red Sox 2-1. Some late-inning fireworks involving Nelson Cruz. But in Game 2, it was the Red Sox offense using the home run that exploded. Evened up the series. They won it 6-2. Game 3. Which offense will come through tonight? Or will it be about the pitching? Find out next, right here on Masson. It's the Orioles on Masson, and all of a sudden a series is about to be concluded already as the folks come in to see the Red Sox and the Orioles wrap up this 3-game set in the first homestand for the O's. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome. It doesn't take very long to start talking about those things that matter in the course of a season. And, of course, winning series, taking the 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4. That's what it's all about. For the Orioles, especially against Eastern Division opponents. They have done very well against the Boston Red Sox of late. Take a look at the numbers when it comes to the series. Overall, 11-3 series record, outscoring Boston 212 to 198 over the last 14 series. Here at Camden Yards, they have gone 5-2. Their series record with a number of 14-8 overall, outscored Boston. At Fenway, a 6-1 series record, 15-7 the overall record there with Boston outscoring the O's, but the O's coming away with the wins, winning a lot of close games. So for the Orioles, Jim Palmer, here we are with a series to be decided in a rubber match.
Yeah, and it comes down to a couple of lefties. DeBrant, who has never, ever won here. He's 0-2, 675. I mean, read all the stuff about him. They said, oh, he came in better shape. He's a young kid at 26, a left-handed pitcher. He's got all the pitches. We're going to have to see that. And then one of the biggest question marks for the Orioles, can Wei Chen get back to where he was 2 years ago before he got hurt? He had the oblique, missed a couple of months last year. He doesn't pitch well against the Red Sox up there, but here at Camden Yards, 3.18 ERA, 1-0 lifetime. But again, Pedroia got 4 hits last night. He's 11 for 19. Napoli, drove in 4 runs. He's 3 for 10 with a couple of home runs. A lot of guys have great numbers. If he can keep the ball down in the zone, that's the way to pitch in this ballpark. He's got the stuff to do it, but he's got to use all his pitches.
In the first 2 games, the Red Sox have had the people on base. They just have not been able to get the big hits. The Orioles have used the home run in order to pick up the runs. We'll see whether or not that continues. The runner in scoring position numbers for a 1-1 series are pretty amazing.
Well, the Orioles have had 3 opportunities. They have they're 1 for 3. The Red Sox 0 for 10 opening day. That's how the Orioles beat them 2-1. 1 for 15. But again, yesterday you get the 2-run home run from Ortiz. You get the 2-run shot by Napoli on an 0-2 pitch. And the Orioles are saying, come on, Nelly Cruz. He's got a couple of games with a couple of home runs.
Jim wanted to ask, because when you look at the lineups, and we'll talk about this during the game, if you take a look at the individuals in the Red Sox lineups against Wei Chen, the numbers will make you go, whoa, because they've got some pretty good at-bats. From a pitcher's perspective, how much does that affect you coming into a game against a team like this?
Well, he's very uncomfortable in Boston. Nava beat him late in the ball game with a 3-run home run. This is a tough park to pitch in, but again, I think what Dave Wallace, who came on as a pitching coach, even Dom Cheney out in the bullpen, they're saying, listen, when you got a good fastball, you like to pitch in. Everybody knows that. That's why you got to establish the changeup. If he's able to do that, he's going to have some success. The Red Sox, we know they can hit. They were the #1 offensive team in the American League. That really hasn't changed, even though Ellsbury's over with the Yankees. So he just has to pitch, not throw. He's got to pitch, and if he does, he's got a good chance to beat him.
Now, the weather may affect the game tonight. There have been some showers late this afternoon. Light. We're going to get this game started underway, and both teams really want to get this in because both have day games tomorrow. The Orioles go to Detroit. The Red Sox go home for their home opener. So let's hope the baseball gods can control a little weather. When we come back, Red Sox-Orioles Game 3. MASN is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by AT&T. Rethink possible. Cloudy skies, light mist falling a bit right now. No problem to get this game started. We'll see whether or not it holds up. Take a look at our train game time temperature. We are at 58 degrees and a very gentle breeze blowing at the moment. Visit trainsearch.com to find your local train comfort specialist dealer. It's hard to stop a train, really hard. Here's the starting lineup for the Red Sox. Gomes will be in the leadoff spot. Pedroia, Ortiz, Napoli, Bogarts, Nava, Middlebrooks. Ross gets his first game and a first start for Jackie Bradley Jr. David Ortiz, of course, the long ball here in this series.
And our scouting report on the 28-year-old left-hander out of Taiwan. Stay healthy last year. Really good April. A low ERA, about 2.5 runs a game, and then the oblique pull, missed almost a couple of days short of 2 months. Established the changeup. Everybody knows he's got a good fastball, more comfortable pitching into the righties. Going to face 7 of those. Only 2 lefties, Ortiz and Bradley, in the lineup. And then on the corners, if you want to pitch in this ballpark, use all your pitches and stay out of the middle of the plate. There are the numbers for Wei Chen. In his second year with the Orioles, the year before, won 12 games, that led the team with 32 starts. So again, lefties, he pretty well. Righties, the home runs, 12 of those 17s, and the average getting closer to 300. But certainly capable when he's on his game of getting anybody out. We'll see how this 58-degree temperature affects him.
In his starts here at Camden Yards last year, 10 of them he went 4-2 with a 3.62 ERA. Lifetime, he's had 27 career starts here in this ballpark. 110, lost 8, and an ERA of 3.92. Did miss games last season with that right oblique sprain from May 13 to July 10. That's why the number of starts were down to 23 rather than up around 33. And then he had some bony tissue taken care of his right knee operation in the offseason. So Wei Chen ready to go to make his debut. Here is Gomes leading it off. Johnny Gomes, leadoff spot, playing in left field, has had an 0 for 4 so far in the 2-game set. Left-hander's delivery time. We are underway, and the pitch is down low for a ball. The Detroit Tigers postponed today. The Orioles will head there after the game tonight. They were supposed to play Kansas City. They had rain and cold weather all day, never got it started. Gomes will look at that one. That will catch the corner for a strike.
Yeah, big strike zone yesterday. Ron Culpa, home plate umpire, and who's kind of more of a higher zone. And I think right there they thought that ball was low. Gomes got called out on some questionable pitch. So you're going to get the low strike, and he's already established that 3 pitches in.
And a good pitch on the outside corner with that one. And the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes on Johnny Gomes. Infield shaded a bit, playing him to pull. Gomes will take the breaking ball, started around on it, but it comes inside. Gomes has 3 hits and 14 at bats, 3 for 14 with 1 home run against the left-hander Chen in his career. This Red Sox team went 32-22 against left-handers last year. Good record. That ball will be pumped into right field. Markakis will get over but not be able to make the play. Kind of a half-swing single by Gomes.
Yeah, big, strong guy, and he just finds a hole. Cruz, Jones, Markakis. That's the outfield for the Orioles. Jones with 3 Gold Gloves. Markakis with 1. Flaherty, Hardy, the last 2 years the Gold Glover. Scope and Davis, and then a couple Gold Gloves. Matt Wieters doing the catching.
Here's the red-hot Dustin Pedroia. See last year's numbers. Pedroia has gone 6 for 10 here in the opening series and continues to be a big nemesis against the Orioles, raising his career batting average now against the O's to .328.
And then 11 for 19 against Chen.
Big numbers against Chen. This is what we talked about in the open. Virtually all of the players in this lineup for the Red Sox, barring Bogarts and Bradley, who've not faced him, have pretty good offensive numbers against him, including David Ortiz.
Yeah, even David Ross, who doesn't play, who played in all the World Series games, he's 3 for 10.
1-0 delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss as Pedroia with that aggressive swing chases one that may have been a little bit outside.
No, he just airs it out right here. He's looking fastball, gets fastball, but that ball out of the zone. The amazing thing, I mean, I saw Dustin, he's usually the first Red Sox out on the bench. I said, you're on a pace for 486 hits. He goes, that's it.
Well, Cruz is on pace for 162 home runs.
I know.
These paces in the first week are really, really good. And a great pitch. He got him to go after one up and away, then came back in with the ball moving down and into him in a 1-ball 2-strike count.
Boy, you'd love to make a pitch here. Pedroia, of course, he could spray it ever, and we've seen that. You talked about the 6 hits. He's hit curve balls. He's hit fastballs. May have homered on opening day, but the wind kept the ball in the ballpark. But again, one of the great contact hitters in the American League, if not baseball.
He hit .354 against left-handers last year, and he drives that towards Markakis, who will get there in a line drive. Hit hard, but Pedroia's retired for the first out.
Now, talking to Hank Allen, I pitched against him, and his brother Richie Allen is a longtime scout. He said, I don't know if there's a better high ball hitter than Dustin Pedroia, and he gets it, and sometimes you get good fortune because that ball, again, could have found a hole. Hit a lot harder than Gomes. Nothing to show for it.
And here is Ortiz. Couple of hits, 8 at bats, including the home run yesterday that he picked up, and 2 RBIs. You take a look at the power zone where they pitch to him. Colors representing where the hitter makes the most frequent contact, and the darker shades are going to show you where he hits the ball the hardest. And the pitch will be taken down low for a ball, and we'll see whether or not Chen can find a way to get him out of there, as Ortiz hit .260 against the lefties last year, had 7 of his 30 home runs against left-handers. He's gone 2 for 10 with a homer lifetime off Wei-Yin Chen. 1-0 delivery. Ortiz on a check swing back into the screen. Orioles have the big shift on against him. Flaherty, the third baseman, the only infielder on that left side, with everybody else pulled around. There's Flaherty, who's responsible for all the ground between second and third, where David Ortiz rarely hits the ball, so usually don't have to worry much about it.
Yeah, they played him about a step and a half to pull in the outfield, and obviously extreme pull hitter in the infield.
And a swing and a miss over the top on that one in a 1-ball 2-strike count.
It almost looked, and may have been a little bit of a sinker. Not a four-seam fastball that has a tendency to rise, and he swings right over it.
The count goes to 1-2 on Ortiz, who had very limited at bats in spring training. He's really still trying to get into game shape at the major league level. 1-2 delivery, and he's in shape right there. That'll be a base hit. Late start. Gomes will stop at second base. So Ortiz is on, and the Red Sox with runners at first and second and 1 down.
Well, it's kind of that hot zone. You can see from this angle, it's inside middle. And then right there, you can see Hardy can't get to it. Ortiz soon to turn 39 in the fall in November. Strong enough to fight it off and maybe hurt the hands a little bit, but.
And that will bring up Napoli, another hot hitter. 3 for 7, a homer, 4 RBIs in the ball game. He led the major leagues last year with 4 or more RBI games. He had 6 of them, number 1 in the majors, and he got one last night, 4 RBI ball game. The infield will play him to pull. 1 down. Inside for a ball. Here's a look at how they pitched to him last night on his at-bat where he got a home run.
That was an 0-2 pitch, and Jimenez, we saw a couple of 0-2 pitches. Lackey didn't make many mistakes. One of them was an 0-2 pitch to Cruz. He homered to right center field, and Napoli on an 0-2 pitch out over the plate, dead center.
1-0 the count. Chen, and the ball will be foul back, looking for the double play here.
So we've seen every pitch he's thrown be somewhere between 91 and 92, with the exception of 1 curveball. So that's 15 pitches the same speed, and that's not going to work.
Dave Wallace, the pitching coach, eyeing it all. Napoli with a 1-ball 1-strike count. Chen has been a fly ball pitcher. 54% of the outs he got last year, 54% came on fly balls. And the Red Sox tend to be a fly ball hitting team, which deep research has shown favors the pitcher. Fly ball pitcher against a fly ball hitting team over the 100 plus years of baseball examined shows the pitchers get the advantage. And that pitch is there for a strike, 1-2.
Yeah, I think he was looking for something else and took a fastball right down the middle. Napoli, one of the great high ball hitters in baseball. Saw that last night. The home run he hit off of Wei and Chen last year up at Fenway. Fastball up and away, and he crushed it.
Red Sox 1 for 15 with runners in scoring position in this series. And a chopper towards short. They got a chance on it. Hardy one relay. They get the double play. So the Orioles defense rises to the occasion. And we'll take a look at the Oriole lineup as the Red Sox retired with a couple of hits in the inning. You watching in beautiful Westminster, Maryland, with the farm country at McDaniel College, all part of Birdland. Take a look at the starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Markakis, Hardy, and Davis, Jones, Cruz, and Wieters, Young, Scope, and Flaherty. Nelson Cruz, 162 home runs if he continues that pace.
And our scouting report on Felix Doubront. Nice repertoire. Young pitcher, 26 years old. Curveball, cutter, fastball around at least last year, 90, a little bit over 90 miles per hour. He's got a changeup. And the other thing is that along with that nice repertoire, they get him over 6 runs a game. Handles lefties. 1 home run in 174 at bats last year, on his way to 11 wins. And Juan Nieves, his pitching coach, said last year, he said he did not come into camp in good shape. That was not the case this year. Had a so-so spring, but certainly I think he understands the rigors in his 3rd year as a starter. 11 2 years ago, 11-6 last year. That you better be in shape to be able to pitch 6 months. So we'll see how that fares tonight.
Nick Markakis coming up. Will Middlebrooks will play in, and yes, we did ask. I went to Brian Butterfield, third base coach of the Red Sox, responsible for placing infielders. He said, I'm sick and tired of having my third baseman playing back against guys who aren't supposed to bunt. He said, in the East, we've been burned more times with leadoff guys who never bunt, who bunt. So we play Middlebrooks in to take that away from him. That's why. He said the charts show if Nick Markakis hits the ball to the left side, it will be in the air and not on the ground. So Middlebrooks is in. Butterfield said, now that you've asked me that question, I'll probably pull him back tonight. But he didn't. He kept him in. Nick, of course, never bunts.
No. Well, I'll tell you what, that's a nice that's a nice rationalization of something he's not. I always thought he drives the ball to left field. And he's hit 1 home run since 2009 to left field here at Camden Yards. Yeah. Now, did that tell me he's a fly ball hitter to left?
Well, the charts say he puts not necessarily fly balls, but not ground balls.
I always thought he was a slashing type hitter.
Yeah. Here's the 1-1 delivery to him, and Nick goes there and gets a base hit. I love it. Yeah. I absolutely love Talk about going against the odds. That's why you play the game, and Nick's got a single.
Well, you know, he's 291 lifetime batting average, and that's how he does it. This is a pretty good breaking ball. And again, Middlebrooks can't get it. Now, if he's playing back where he should be, that's an out. Or a much better chance of being an out. So, you know what? I'll tell you what. If they want to play there, fine. But I think they are totally out of position. And just because a guy is hitting leadoff doesn't mean he's a leadoff.
Yeah. Zal Markakis is on with a base hit. He's now 2 for 9 in the series. And here's the Orioles shortstop. J.J. Hardy back up into the number 2 spot now against the left-hander. He'll take it for a strike. Hardy with a 3 for 15 lifetime against Dubron. Dubron trying to show he belongs in that rotation. He said himself on opening day, when I get my chance, I've got to come through. That ball is drilled in the air to right field, right at Nava. He's got it with a little jump throw to first, and Markakis will get back.
Well, you've seen some of the defense. As we look at Gomes, Bradley, and Nava, that's the outfield. Middlebrooks over at third. Bogart's going to be the shortstop this year. Pedroia, 3 Gold Gloves over second. Napoli played very well. Flagged down a shot last night, and then David Ross, who was the man in the postseason, caught all 4 World Series. Great catch and throw guy, and then, as we told you, the number's good against Wei and Chen, so he gets to start tonight. Young pitcher, veteran catcher, not a bad idea.
Chris Davis looking for his first hit of this season, 0 for 6 in the series, and will swing through that one. Took a little bit, Dubron did, off that delivery. 85-mile-an-hour pitch. Runner at first base, and 1 down. Orioles, of course, picking up the victory against Lester, the left-hander, in Game 1. They were 27 and 26 against left-handers last year, and they'll see a lot of lefties again this year with the likes of Chris Davis in the lineup. Dubron 0-2.
Yeah, he got away with that first pitch.
Big shift on against Chris, and again inside a little bit more that time, and a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, a little changeup that just missed the outside corner.
Chris had his average problems against lefties last year, hitting .235, well below the .316 average he had against right-handers. He did, however, pick up 13 of his home runs against lefties, the other 40 off righties.
You know, I was looking at the first 4 games. And that was against Tampa, then the Twins. He was 9 for 14 with 4 home runs and 16 RBIs. That's how he started the 2013
just
season.
Loaded out of the gate. That'll go to the shift to Pedroia. Bobbled it. He'll get 1, and that's it. Pedroia banging his glove because he had a chance for 2.
Well, that's an extra out. Won't be scored an error, but the Gold Glover, that's usually a routine 4 to 6 to 3. All you got to do is catch it. And sometimes even the best can't do that. I mean, there's no hop. He just doesn't quite get it in the glove, and he finally get the force, but it allowed Jones to come to the plate.
So Adam will come up with a 2 for 7 in the series. Jones last year, the numbers not where they should be against left-handers. It'll make a big difference for him if he can pick up on the .251 average he had against lefties last year. He had an even .300 against right-handers, but you figure Adam would do better against left-handers. Red Sox are looking for him to chase. If you watch where Ross sets up, he's almost outside the strike zone, trying to get, because Adam has been going after those breaking pitches again, down and away. So the Red Sox are going to try and get him to bite on pitches that aren't strikes. See if he goes out there again. See where he set up that angle.
Yeah, but with a little different story here. Dubron, I mean, he's averaging over 11 strikeouts last year against the Orioles, but the Orioles are just seeing Lester and Lackey, 2 veteran pitchers that commanded the ball about as well as you can command it. So a little different story here. You ought to get some better pitches to hit.
Jones with a 3-0. And we'll take that one for a strike. 3-1. Dubron last year walked 71 in 162 innings. So his walks are up there. He did strike out 159. Gave up a hit per inning in the 27 starts, 29 games he was in. And that's going to be a walk. So Adam takes, refuses to go. Runners at first and second, 2 down.
Yeah, so Ed Hickox, who's doing the home plate umpiring, the belt high strike last night, it got called. Tonight,
Here comes Cruz.
Yeah.
Put it in Cruz. control because this is what it has meant. Home run to left field, picked up in game 1. Home run the other way to right field in game 2. I asked Nelson before the game tonight, I said, do you consider yourself an opposite field home run hitter? And he said, absolutely. He said, I bet close to half of my home runs the opposite field. That's just how strong he is, and he showed it in that opposite field home run he hit last night.
Well, Mike Bordick, who will be doing the road trip, and pretty good hitter in his own right, said, you got to back the ball up. You got to let it travel a little bit longer. He does a really good job of that. But a quick enough bat that if you try to come in and don't get it in, ability to pull the ball.
1-0 count, 2 down. Cruz ground ball towards short. Bogarts has it over to Pedroia, and that'll do it in the inning. No runs on 1 hit, no errors. 2 are left on base, 1 complete. The series game underway. Moment in Orioles history brought to you by Volkswagen. Tippy Martinez, the name. He's here in the ballpark. The fabulous 3 pickoffs. August 24, 1983. Trailing in the 10th inning. Not 1, not 2, but 3. And the Orioles would go on to win that 7-4 at the bottom of the 10th inning.
Now, do you know who was catching for the first time ever in the big league? Lenny Secada.
Lenny Secada.
Tim Stoddard started that inning. First pitch was a home run by Cliff Johnson over the left field fence. So they took Stoddard out and brought in Tippy. And he walked Dave Collins. And everybody that got on were so anxious to steal against Lenny Secada, he picked them off. And then Secada comes up with a man on in the bottom of the 10th inning. Actually, 2 men on, I believe, and hits a 3-run home run. That's how you win World Series.
That's great.
Yeah, how you get there.
And Tippy indeed on the pregame show and in the house here signing autographs before the ball game. So Secada should get some of the credit for those pickoffs.
Well, yeah. But, Lenny had worked all year in spring training in the bullpen to be kind of utility guy that could play second, short, and then catch.
Here's Bogarts leading it off for the Red Sox in the 2nd inning. Nava and Middlebrooks will follow. The young shortstop has gone 2 for 5 in the series. 1-1 delivery to him. Bogarts has incredible patience for a young player. I mean, we saw some of that last year, but it's evident here in the first 2 games of this season. So he just doesn't chase.
3 walks, and so the on-base percentage way up there.
And that one to short. He's got another base hit. So Bogarts on with his 3rd hit, a leadoff single, both innings against Wei Chen. The Orioles are going to return home on Friday, April 11. They'll have a 6-game homestand. The Jays and the Rays coming in. Get your tickets for the first weekend series of 14. Back the Birds. They are key games against American League East opponents, obviously, and part of the 60th anniversary celebration. If you wear your hair like that, you'll get absolutely nothing. Go to Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD for information. You will get on TV, however. I like that.
Yeah, well, especially if it rains.
That's nice.
If we have a little mist or something, that'll be perfect.
Perfect. Here's Nava. Nava with a 1 for 9 in the series. Big numbers, though, against Chen. 5 for 8. against Wei Chen. 3 RBIs against the Orioles left-hander. Red Sox now with 3 hits on the board. Here in this series, the Orioles have hit a .194 coming into this game. The Red Sox in the first 2 games hitting .268. Red Sox have outscored the Orioles 7-4, but the series, of course, at 1-1. 1-0 delivery and foul back on the fist. 1-1.
Well, it is not easy against the Lesters and Lackeys of the world. Not the way they pitched, and you don't get a lot of balls in the middle of the plate. Lester, really, the one mistake in the 7th inning, the Cruz hit out, and Lackey, until he walked Chris Davis, and then the 0-2 pitch to Cruz was almost perfect last night. What did Matt Weeder say? He said it seemed like it was 0-2 every time. Well, it was.
It was.
Yeah, I mean, he just Powder River. That's what he called it. I just went Powder River on him.
He was efficient, and a pitch in there for a strike.
It must be a Texas term.
Powder River?
No, he's from Texas. What? Yeah.
It's an Alaskan term. Big salmon fishing, Powder River. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Chen got through the inning that has given him the most trouble. That's that first inning. That's been a problem for him in his career. ERA of almost 6 in the first inning. He got out of that with a double play ground ball. And a little late on the swing, fouled off down the line and out of play off the bat of Nava.
Well, he's got 4 pitches. Bogaerts hit the changeup with 2 strikes by Hardy into left field, and then the slider, he uses it more than the curveball. Changeup, the most effective off speed if he spots it properly. The one the Bogaerts was up a little bit. Well, you'd love to be able to pitch in and then cover that outside corner and then somehow get them out on their front foot. That's how you get the double play ball. Even though with Napoli he was able to jam them in the first inning.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Bogaerts off first base. That'll be a base hit right center field. He'll make the turn. Bogaerts. Ball bobbled a bit. Wouldn't have mattered though. Bogaerts was going to get third. So the Red Sox cover the corners with nobody out here in the 2nd inning on Nava's base hit. Let's take a look at our Jeep inside the numbers. Wei Chen last season.
Yep. Well, again, a 8-run in just about 3 innings, so that certainly gets the ERA up. The other games didn't get a lot of run support. It's the one thing you have to understand. They do not score a lot of runs for Wei Chen. Every once in a while, you can see right there against everybody else, pitched very well, but that shortest stint of his career, anytime you give up 8 hits, 8 runs, and 2 2/3 innings, that's going to escalate that ERA. And then here comes another guy that's got very good numbers, 6 for 16. Will Middlebrooks off Wei Chen.
He's looking for his first hit of the year. 0 for 7 in the series. Nobody out. And a ground to short. Runner's going to come home. They'll go for 2. There's one. Relay at first. They get the double play. Scoring will be Bogaerts. The Red Sox will get the 1-0 lead as the Orioles stayed back, willing to give up the run to get the 2 outs.
Yeah, big pitch. So 2 innings and now, or at least inning and 2/3, 2 double play balls. But the fact that Nava uses the whole field and goes to the opposite field, and then right here, you're looking for outs, and that's what they get. Stay away from the big inning. That might lead to that.
No, the Red Sox already, even though they get a run in, are 0 for 2 with runners in scoring position. Now 1 for 17 in the series. Here's David Ross. Coming into this ball game, the Red Sox stranding 19 base runners in the first 2 games. Pitch is in there for a strike. Ross doing the catching. First appearance for him on the new year. He's had a 3 for 10 lifetime off Chen. Brzezinski, you saw standing there watching the ball game. He'll get time off here. Caught a lot of games last year, though, over 100, and will be expected to do the same day game again tomorrow, though. So Farrell wanting to get him out of there and put him in tomorrow for the home opener for Boston. Here's the 0-2 delivery by Chen. Stays there.
Got concussion-like symptoms. So David Ross did most of his playing. 33 starts, 36 games, and then became the catcher of choice in the postseason.
Oh, really like the way he was handling the pitchers. 0-2 delivery in the playoffs, and for Saltalamacchia, of course, that was kind of the end of the road with the Red Sox once that happened.
Yeah,
1 ball, 2 strike count.
Yeah, Jared now with the Marlins. As he lives out in Wellington, Florida, kind of horse country, just a little bit west of Palm Beach, West Palm Beach.
1-2 delivery by Chen, and misses with it. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Red Sox getting him up to 32 pitches. That's all right. You can get out of it here in the second inning without going any deeper. 2-2 delivery on the way, and again just misses the last 2, and the count is full.
Well, he's doing a nice job on most occasions of staying down.
Ross 259 off lefties last year, 100 points higher than against righties. 3-2 delivery to him, and he's gone. So Chen will pick up the strikeout on the changeup, but a run in on a couple of hits. No errors and nobody left on base. Red Sox have the early lead, 1-0. Thrown out by Erica Brannick, a 29-year-old teacher at Towson Preschool. She threw it out to Chris Davis. Last year at the Boston Marathon, she was at the finish line waiting for her mother to finish the race when that bomb went off and suffered a serious injury to the leg. She asked if Chris Davis could be the one to get the first pitch because it's her favorite player. When she went out there, she didn't know if Chris was going to do it or not. Obviously, he did. And her mom was on hand, is here at the ballpark. They are both going back to the Boston Marathon. The Orioles will be there during that marathon. Her mom's going to run. She's going to stand at the finish line again to celebrate her finishing. And she was quoted today as saying she's going to finish it and will be at the finish line to hug and celebrate with her. So congratulations to Erica, and a great recovery and a great emotional story. And great job by Chris.
Well, you know, you wouldn't miss that opportunity.
That ground ball will be fouled off. The Orioles will play that 11 o'clock game on Marathon Day in Boston. The Orioles are going to be there for a 4-game series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. The kicker for the Orioles is that, and the Red Sox, and Farrell was really upset when he saw the schedule, ESPN's got the Sunday night game, and then they've got to play 11 o'clock the next morning. And Farrell was really upset and complained, and the only concession he got was it's going to be a 7 o'clock Sunday night game instead of an 8 o'clock game. And for Buck Showalter, he just kind of shakes his head at how a schedule could ever come down like that. That ball drilled in the air towards the gap, and it will be hauled in. Bradley with the speed to get over. Wieters is retired. Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Charles Radler from Middle River. You've won $500 for being selected. You get $500 more for every Orioles home run. Play the Orioles scratch off from the Maryland Lottery for your chance to be a contestant. You win a trip to see the O's play at Wrigley, perhaps, or maybe a trip to the World Series. You can learn more at mdlottery.com/Orioles. Good luck, Charles. Here is Delman Young. And that'll be in the dirt to him. Young's the DH in the ball game. Steve Pearce was going to get a shot here in the game tonight. He'll be playing in Detroit. But Showalter said before the game, I looked at the numbers and I saw that home run that Delman Young has against Dubron, and just a manager's gut reaction that I decided, I think I ought to play him tonight.
And then he might have watched Steve Pearce take batting practice. He did not have a good bat. He wasn't happy with what he was doing because where the bat head was and whatever. So it's a gut thing. It's nice to have these options.
Sure is.
With Victorino on the DL, that's where we saw Bradley, who really got a great jump on that ball. That's why he's playing with Sizemore getting the night off.
And he is gone. So the strikeout, the first recorded by Dubron, 2 down.
Oh, you saw the changeup, you saw the cutter, you saw the curveball, and then right here, there's a little changeup. It's a good one. We've seen him, and it's early, throw harder. He's right around 90, but boy. Look at the finish on that changeup.
And 2 away, base is empty. Jonathan Scope getting the start at second base, his second game. It's at a 1 for 3. He'll go after the first pitch to right field. Nava. And he's got it, and it is a 1-2-3 inning. Dubron 26 pitches thrown through the first 2. Red Sox have the early 1-0 lead. Brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares only at southwest.com. And by Ocean City, Maryland. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City, Maryland. Book now at ococean.com. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer with you as we wrap up this 3-game set. Tomorrow, the Orioles will have a day game. 5 day games in a row are coming up. It'll be Miguel Gonzalez, and Anibal Sanchez will pitch for Detroit tomorrow. He was supposed to pitch today in the game against Kansas City. Then Bud Norris gets Rick Porcello and Chris Tillman and Justin Verlander. 3-day games against the Tigers tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Here's Jackie Bradley Jr. Goes after the first pitch up the middle. This is going to be a very tough play. Long throw off the mark. It'll hit the facade, and Bradley will be on.
Yeah, that saves him. I mean, it's going to be a base hit, and then the errant throw. The Scope tries to go over, quick throw. So a guy that really struggled, tried to make the ball club, hit 158 in spring training. He was the last out. Took a high strike to finish the game, but tough play for Jonathan. And then you get a little bit fortunate right there, as you can see Bradley kind of high step over Chris Davis, who's trying to flag it down, and nobody gets hurt. The veteran talking to the rookie.
Well, all 3 innings now, the Red Sox have gotten the leadoff man on base. Gomes had a single in the first inning. He stands in now with nobody out. And Bradley on at first. And he will take the pitch up high for a ball. So Chen doing it the hard way so far in this ball game. with these runners getting on base and having to go to the stretch immediately.
Yeah, a little unlucky. Gomes, who steps to the plate, and I mean, he hit a little jam shot. That was a little roller, but can't always get what you want. Mick told us that, right?
Yeah, that's right. Don't know if he was talking about pitching.
No,
nevertheless, a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
And then, of course, Wei and Chen has gotten what he needs, a couple of double plays, even though he trails 1-0. So.
Red Sox with 5 hits now to the Orioles 1. That's the way these games have gone in this series. 1-ball, 1-strike count. Bradley being held by Davis. And the throw over. Jackie Bradley back.
It does not steal a lot of bases. 7 out of 14 at AAA. It looks to me he's one of these guys, and I got a chance to see him in spring training. Really gets a good jump on the ball, so can cover some territory, and probably can go from first to third, second to home.
Yep.
But as far as stealing bases, hadn't learned to do that.
1-ball, 1-strike count on Gomes. And a big cut, and right through that one on the 90-mile-an-hour fastball. That's what he wanted, but he couldn't catch up.
I'm going to take a look, and Gomes, big, strong, well-intentioned as far as hitting it about as far as he can. Swings right through it.
Chen with the 1-2 count. Pedroia, the on-deck batter. Outfield in a couple of steps. And the pitch will be inside to Gomes, and the count goes to 2-2. Gomes, another one of those very patient hitters. Chen with an eye over at first base, as you saw Bradley looking over to Butterfield at third, the coach. Infield playing Gomes towards the middle. 2-2 delivery to him. Another breaking ball. Wieters will have to block that one. And Chen really having to work here early in the ball game. 3-ball, 2-strike count.
So do you start the runner? You got to throw a strike if you're Wei and Chen, because otherwise it's going to be first and second with Pedroia coming up 11 for 20 off of Chen. If you start him and hits one on the ground, most likely will not get a double play.
Red Sox already have hit into 2 double plays. 3-2 count. Bradley not going, and the ball pumped in the air towards the gap. Markakis over, and he's got it. Gomes is retired, 1 down, runner back to first base. Text Masson's word of the day, Hill, H-I-L-L, to 29292 for your chance to win a meet and greet with Buck Showalter. Presented by Outback Steakhouse. Outback Steakhouse, no rules, just right. Now to bring up Dustin Pedroia. Pedroia flied out to right field his first time up. He brings a 7-game hit streak against the Orioles into this ball game, and every one of those games has been a multi-hit game. Pedroia now with a .328 lifetime average against the Orioles. Towering fly ball go out in left field. Bradley at first base will go back, and Pedroia is retired. 2 down. So Chen again with that leadoff man on, a chance to get out of it. But Bradley still at first. David Ortiz coming to the plate. Ortiz with a base hit. 3 for 9 now in the series. Jonathan Scope drops into shallow right field. And the ball tagged the other way, not deep. Cruz can't get it. Runner was going and will score. Bradley will come all the way around on a looping base hit that Cruz could not get to, and the Red Sox have a 2-0 lead.
Well, not only doesn't he get to it, he overruns it. You play so deep because of the power of Ortiz, but this is a ball that even if you don't catch, and you can see the effort, backhands it, doesn't even come close, and once it gets by him, there's Bradley. He sees the play, it's right in front of him, and he's going to score easily. So again, a late jump because of the depth, and Bradley doing exactly what you're supposed to. The only good news is that Ortiz, with a lack of speed, doesn't get into scoring position.
Ortiz gets the single and the RBI, so he's driven in 3 in the series. 2-0 lead for the Red Sox. Ortiz gets the 6th hit for Boston, and that will bring up Napoli, who hit into a double play his first time up. So the leadoff single by Bradley does result in a run with 2 down, scoring all the way from first base. 0-1 delivery to Napoli, and he'll pop it up. Davis. And goes off his glove, I believe, and he goes down against the side railing there, but he is all right. Went down awkwardly trying to make that play.
Yeah, he gets there. You can see him leaning off, and then the ball just kind of comes off the heel of his glove. And of course, it did rain, so she got the kind of crushed gravel, and you can see the ball kind of hitting up on the heel of the glove.
Oof. Scary the way he went down there.
Yep. And he catches himself with his left arm, and remember a couple of years ago had that right shoulder problem that bothered him.
Keeps the at bat alive here to Napoli, and the pitch up high with the fastball. The 1-ball 2-strike count on Napoli. So a tough start here for the Orioles. Down 2-0. And Chen trying to work his way out as those leadoff men on in both the second and third innings have scored. 1-2 delivery, and that's going to miss down low, and all of this means those pitches continue to pile up for Chen.
A lot of pressure. You know, we talk about the fact they score so many runs, over 6 runs a game for DeBrant, 5.66 for his career. Last 47 starts, 3 or fewer runs for Wei and Chen 31 times. So you're always pitching like you got to be perfect, and it's hard to do, especially in this park against this team.
Napoli with a 2-ball 2-strike, and way outside as that one got away from him, and a full count 3-2. So David Ortiz will rumble towards second on the delivery here with 2 away. Rumble it will be. You'll feel the earth shake when he takes off. You will not lose sight of him, however. There will not be a blur. 3-2. And Napoli swings through it. So Chen will get the strikeout, his second, but the Red Sox will get the run on 2 hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. That one that got by Nelson Cruz allowed Bradley to score run 2. As you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Here in Charm City, as the weather finally beginning to look like spring may actually be here.
I'm waiting for those little green tips of the trees. Trees don't know it's spring yet. I've noticed that.
Cherry blossoms tried and then fell off. Really?
Well, is that
around the basin in Washington, the cherry blossoms had started out because there was one good day, and then
the squalls.
Then the squalls of snow.
Squalls, yeah. I mean, wind was blowing about 30, and the wind was going sideways on Sunday, so any cherry blossoms went to the ground. There wasn't a rivulet at Home Depot. It was a sheet of water.
From a rivulet to a sheet. Sounds like a country western song. And 0-1 count, Ryan Flaherty. Flaherty up, followed by Markakis and Hardy. We go to the bottom half of the third inning. Dubront, only 27 pitches thrown. Flaherty will take the pitch inside. Flaherty looking for his first hit of the year, as he has had an 0-for-7. He gets the start with a 2-for-4 in his career off the left-hander. And a ground ball towards Pedroia.
Well, you're seeing all 4 pitches, and David Ross is putting those fingers down. You got a young pitcher, even though he's won 22 games as a starter the last 2 years, 11-11. But it is nice not to have to shake off.
That'll bring up Nick Markakis. The only hit of the ball game. Nick had a base hit leading off the game for the Orioles.
And look where they're going to play it.
Now Middlebrooks is backing up at third.
And he keeps looking into the dugout.
Brian Butterfield, the third base coach and infield coach.
That's where you play Nick Markakis. I mean, I know it's nice to be different sometimes, but it would be the only team that does this.
0-1 count. Markakis goes the other way again, and he's got a base hit. Gomes will go over to get it. So 2 for 2, and the only 2 hits the Orioles have. This one comes with 1 away. Not too late to upgrade your summer with an Orioles partial season plan. Enjoy exclusive orange carpet benefits, savings over single game tickets, a lot of access to extras, and your plan can be for as few as 12 games and a pricing to fit any budget. For details, Orioles.com/season. Jimenez looking on. Orioles starter last night. The long ball got to him, and the pitch taken for a strike. Hardy flied out to right field his first time up. Talk about Pedroia's streak against the Orioles. Well, Hardy's got a streak going, an 8-game hit streak against the Red Sox. He hasn't had big numbers lifetime, only a .219 career hitter against him. Bogarts, Pedroia, Napoli. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left on base. We've completed 3. The series tied at 1-1. And islands of Sarasota and Florida's Gulf Coast go beyond the stadium to the top-ranked beaches in the USA. Plan now. Visit Sarasota.org is the place to get info. Siesta Beach, the top beach in the world over the last few years, voted #1 because of its great white sand shores. A lot of construction going on there right now, and you might want to look over to Lido Beach or down to Turtle Beach. There are a lot of beaches you can go to and enjoy Sarasota.
And then you go out to dinner.
Then you go out to dinner.
A little grouper, a little sea bass.
Delightful.
Cultural.
It is.
Places of interest.
Sarasota Film Festival, in fact, will be going on, maybe going on right now. The Orioles need to get it going. Chen's got to try and get a leadoff man out. All three have been on. Two of them have scored. As we go to the fourth inning, Chen retired 65% of leadoff batters last year. That's okay, but not good enough. You need to be up around 70% to be effective as a starter. He was at 65%, and tonight hasn't gotten any of the leadoff batters. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Bogaerts with a base hit in the second, leading it off and scored. A little late on that and fouls it off. The second time through the lineup for Chen last season was tough. 14 runs given up in the fourth inning, the most of any inning pitched, and the leadoff man's on again. 4 for 4 for leadoff batters tonight for Boston. Well, time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag Masson Orioles for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Talk to the man with the 2 hats.
Yeah, you look at good hitters, and everybody talks about Xander Bogaerts. Eventually, he's going to be a home run guy. I mean, he's only 21. But all the guys that I faced that could hit, they knew where the bat head was. Point A to ball, point B. And right there, all he did was raise his hands a little bit, get on top of the high fastball, and just put on about as smooth a swing as you can see.
Nava will take it outside for a ball. He too has picked up a base hit.
I remember when Terry Crowley was the hitting instructor, he would actually, I remember Ramon Hernandez, he said, I just want you to swing the bat slowly, but know where the bat head is. And all of a sudden he got a feel, and this kid apparently doesn't know what that's about.
Sure looks like
it. It really does.
1-0 count on Nava. And he drills it. It'll be foul. Red Sox again piling up the hits here as they've out-hit the Orioles 7-2 in the first 3+. 2 runs, 7 hits, no errors for Boston. 0-2-0 for the Orioles. Each team has left 2 on base. John Farrell's ball club still not getting the hits with runners in scoring position, but you get a guy to score from first on an Ortiz single. You don't have to.
Well, that was a little unlucky for Chen, as Cruz couldn't get a good jump and then couldn't get a good angle on the ball. But the way they used the whole field, Nava's single after Bogaerts the last time up was the opposite field.
Jammed him on that one. Jones, 1 down.
Now even Adam got fooled by that swing. I mean, he was heading for the wall.
1 away, 1 on. Middlebrooks. Middlebrooks hit into the double play. Now 6 for 17. His lifetime numbers against Chen. Middlebrooks here at Camden Yards. Games played, hitting under 200. He has had 1 home run here in this ballpark, and that's about the same number he's got overall against the Orioles with a .211 average. He's got power.
Yeah, big time power. Great spring, and the springs don't always tell you the whole story, but I think when you're a young player, came up 2 years ago, year before last, and then had a wrist injury at the end of the year, and then last year struggled, went back down, came back, actually resurrected his career. So anytime you're in your 3rd year and you hit .353 in the spring, if you're John Farrell managing this club, you kind of like that.
We told you the Red Sox will head on home after this one. They've got a day game tomorrow, Milwaukee, for their opening day ceremonies, while the Orioles head out to Detroit, with the Tigers having their game postponed today. Runner goes, hit and run, and it will be foul back. Tigers 2-0, sitting atop the Central early on. White Sox lost today, so they're 2-1 now. They were beaten by Minnesota. Ball game decided late, 10-9 the final score in that. Twins beat them. 0-1 count.
Yeah, a lot of strange things happening. Nathan, Perkins, Grilly, Veras, Johnson, Papelbon, all blue saves yesterday. Mariners outscored the Angels 26-8.
That's going to be a base hit. It's off the end of the bat. And there are runners on at first and second, one out. Jim, speaking about some of the unusual beginnings, take a look at our early oddities board. The Tigers' walk-off wins in those first 2 games of the season are the first time they have done that in the first 2 games of a year since 1901. The Yankees' first 0-2 start to beginning the season against a team that had lost 100 games the year before, the Astros. And for Garcia with Chicago, Larry Garcia, he bunted for a base hit on an 0-2 count last night. Nobody had a bunt base hit last year on an 0-2 count, and he got one. Today, they were doing everything but bunting in 10-9 game with the Twins winning it. And a swing and a miss. Ross, a strikeout victim.
Yeah, Wayne Chen struck him out on the 3-2 changeup. So he'd like to do what he did in the first and the second. With one out, get a ground ball to one of his infielders. Ross, in his late 30s, doesn't run that well. Maybe get another double play, get out of it. Somehow you're trying to figure, how do I get back on the bench and hope my hitters can do something against DeBront.
Bogarts at second, Middlebrooks at first. Ground ball towards the hole. That's going to be a base hit. Bogarts is going to make the turn. Cruz is up. He'll make the throw to the plate. Wieters is there. Not in time. And the Red Sox have a 3-0 lead as Ross delivers the RBI.
Well, you get the bonus. You talked 100 points higher against lefties. Well, he's able to get on that fastball and get the bat head out in front. And then the throw by Nelson Cruz, and Bogarts with a very good jump.
Did you note where Matt Wieters was standing?
Yeah.
We talked about that in spring training with the new rule about catcher's interference, and you cannot stand in the line of a base runner coming from third unless you have the ball. The Orioles' decision, Buck Showalter talking to Matt, was we're going to have Matt Wieters stand behind the plate, if you will, so that he's looking out at the play. Instead of going out in front of home plate, though, he stands towards the foul territory side behind it. That's what he was doing there. Towering pop-up by Bradley down the line and right, way up in the air. Markakis will have room in the corner. Runner will tag. And Bradley is retired for the second out. 2 down now. Runners at first and third. Our Jeep inside the numbers. Highest run support average Jim's been talking about.
Well, he gets them, and it's nice to get a lot of runs in and also pitch well. And he's done that tonight. And we've seen Lester, we've seen Lackey, Buchholz. He's going to pitch over the weekend. Beebe's going to pitch tomorrow. So if DuBrant pitches well, even better than last year, and then they do what they normally do, talking about the Red Sox, which is what 5.27 runs per game last year, home and away. Won a lot of games.
Here's another RBI opportunity, and the pitch will be taken by Gomes, who has singled and flied out. A run in, 3 singles in the inning. Ross has the RBI. Middlebrooks at third. Ross over at first. And a 1-0 count with 2 down. That's 3 runs for the Red Sox. They've had at least 2 hits in every inning. They got 3 in this one. Chen's the one who has not had the run support. In games that he's lost, his run support way down, only 2.1 per game in the 18 games he's had a loss, 5.1 in the 19 games where he's recorded a win. 2-0 count, 2 away. No play on that. Back over the screen.
Yeah, the Orioles had about 4.6 runs per game in 2013. The Red Sox about 0.6 of a run over 162 games more, and the largest differential because of their starting pitching, about almost 197 runs between what they gave up and what they scored.
2 ball, 1 strike count. 2 down, runners off first and third, and really tied him up on that one. 2 ball, 2 strike count.
Yeah, he's looking away and couldn't I don't know if he unbuttoned his shirt right there, but this swing might do it. Broke the buttons.
And it's 2-2.
Maybe that's just the way he came to the plate. Got to swing a little harder, Johnny Gomes.
Anyone can, he can. 2-2 delivery and a big count on the pitch away. Wieters blocks it and will make the play to first base. Run in on 3 hits, no errors. 2 are left on base. Red Sox extend their lead 3-0. In this series, Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer with you. These 3 games have kind of all looked the same to this point, with the Orioles getting a win, but the Red Sox getting most of the hits and most of the chances.
Well, yeah, and they've used the whole field. We've had 4 innings played as far as they are concerned, with the Orioles batting bottom of the 4th. Leadoff guy, not that they've hit the ball real hard, but the leadoff guy on, they hit the ball behind the runner. You know, Ortiz got a little bit lucky, dumped the ball in the left field. So the constant of this series so far is that they have really pitched well, and you know, the Orioles very fortunate to win 2-1 opening day. But then again, the Orioles pitched well that day, and they went 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. You got to somehow get to DeBron, who's really pitched well, because he's doing a great job of mixing up his pitches.
Well, let's see if the Orioles can do that as we go to the 4th inning. Davis, Jones, and Cruz. Chris with the 0 for 1 in this one, and the 0 for 7 to start the series. 1-0 delivery by DeBron's lifted in the air, center field. It's deep. Bradley back. Hey, goodbye off the wall. He missed it by about 3 feet. Trying to get to second. He thought he had the home run. He'll get in there with a double. Thought that ball was going to clear. It didn't. Bradley went back and played it on a hop.
Well, you play shallow because this is such a small ballpark. Hit it with one hand. It is damp. Temperature at 58. Drizzle early. I mean, it looked like he hit that pretty well and just misses by about 18 inches. And then the play in front of him knows which side of the bag to dive on. He's still mystified how that ball didn't go out.
The Orioles get an extra base hit. There have been few of those here in this series.
Well, you got to get back in the game, and you have to. I'm not suggesting that Adam Jones give himself up, but he hits his best when he hits the ball back up the middle. So get him over, get him in. You have to be able to advance a runner. Get on the board here in the 4th.
Adam, one of the better numbers last year with runners in scoring position, hitting at .337. Chris Davis picking up the double, which is the first double of the season for the Orioles. And DeBron will miss inside with it, and the 2-0 count. Cruz and then Wieters due up here in the inning.
And DeBron is 26. You know, he's got enough experience, but you're hoping that maybe something. I mean, 3-0 lead, a double shouldn't rattle you, but maybe he's going to try to be a little bit more perfect. And there's a perfect fastball. He has not thrown a ball over 90. But again, mixing up his pitches has allowed him to be effective.
Ballpark's been a struggle for him. He's gone 0-2 here with a 6.75 ERA in this ballpark. The 2 losses against the Orioles. He has 1 win, 1-2 lifetime. 2-1 delivery on the way. Jones will foul it. Dubron gets right back into the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And by getting back into that count, Gary, now all of a sudden the curveball and that changeup, which has been really good, come into play. And if you're a left-hander, you'd love, if you're going to get Jones out, to get him to hit it to the left side so you don't advance the runner. He'd love to be able to, if he makes an out, at least get Chris Davis with 1 out to third base.
2-2. They try and get him to chase outside. Did not go. Lance Barrett, first base umpire.
Yeah, this is what's we're going to show you what Lance is looking at. Best angle.
Orioles 1 for 3 with runners in scoring position. First 2 games they left 9 on compared to the 19 left by Boston. And a chopper with a runner going. Play's going to go to first base. Bogarts will get it there in time. So he does advance him as Davis was going. Runner at third base now with 1 away. When the Orioles win, everyone wins all season long. The Orioles win and score 5 or more. You get 50% off. Regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com by entering promo code Orioles5. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Valid at participating Baltimore area Papa John's. Now to bring up Nelson Cruz. A lot of ways to do it now with a runner on at third, 1 down. Red Sox with a 3-0 lead will play their infield back. And Cruz on the big cut, trying to get it in the air.
Yeah, that's what Napoli with his 4 RBIs last night. 2 on a home run, 2-run single in the 7th. He said bases loaded. He said I'm just trying to hit the ball in the air, and that's what Nelson's trying to do.
Cruz hit .294 with runners in scoring position last year. Good number. Gets a chance here. Runners not going. That's a fair ball. Middlebrook surrounds it. And off the bag with the tag put on by Napoli. And the Orioles do not get the run in.
Well, good pitch. Looked like a little cut fastball. Couldn't get the ball elevated. That's what the cutter does. Just moves at the last minute. And he gets fooled.
So that will leave it up to Matt Wieters. Try and get the 2-out RBI. DeBron trying to work his way out of the inning after a leadoff double by Davis. Orioles 0 for 2 tonight. Runners in scoring position. Wieters in the air to right field. Nava going back. Nava looking, and that hits right off the wall. That'll get it in. He'll go into second base. Wieters has a double and an RBI, and the Orioles are on the board 3-1.
Well, a bullet on a hanging changeup. Watch him smoke this ball. It stays up. Tremendous leverage from this side for Matt Wieters. A couple of feet from missing a home run. So both doubles, ringing variety here in the 4th inning.
Wieters getting his first RBI of the season. The Orioles now with 2 hits in the inning, 4 in the game. Delman Young, the DH, strikeout victim, his first time up. And Young will take the pitch inside for a ball.
Yeah, DeBron thought that was a strike. It probably did have the plate, but David slid to the outside corner, and he had to reach all the way back across the plate.
1-0 delivered. That'll miss up high, 2-0, and that will send Ross out to talk to Dubron. First base open here. Jonathan Scope is the on-deck batter. See if the manager's gut feeling about Young pays off here. As we said earlier, Buck taking a look at the numbers, seeing the home run that he had against Dubron, deciding to play him tonight in the DH. 2-0. Outfield shaded to right. And that's where the ball is hit down the line right field. Nava going over. Will not ever play another one off the wall. It'll be a long single and an RBI, and it's a 1-run game.
Well, nice adjustment by the Orioles hitters. And that's going to get Juan Nieves, the pitching coach, out. All of a sudden, everything's up in the zone. Watch this one. Right here, a little cutter. It stays up. It's not where you want to pitch Delman Young. And great approach. Insides it out. And then Nava makes a nice play. Otherwise, it would have been 3 doubles. Matt Weeder scores to make it 3-2.
So Young gets his first hit, first RBI as an Oriole. And the Orioles have a 3-2 ball game as they get to the left-hander here in the 4th inning.
Yeah, his stuff is a little short tonight, but all of a sudden here in the 4th, after making quality pitches, that stopped. So he's not going to throw the ball by anybody at 90.
Wei Chen getting a little run support as the Orioles starter sits and waits. And here's Scope. Orioles getting these RBIs, both of them with 2 down on the Wieters and Young base hits after Davis had started the inning off with a double. Jonathan Scope flied out first time up, 1 for 4 in the series. And he will take the pitch for a strike. Breaking ball that came in on the Young second baseman for the Orioles. Here's the 0-1 delivery doing, and that will miss down low for a ball.
Yeah, I don't know if Juan Nieves went out there, the Red Sox pitching coach, but all of a sudden the velocity's gone up a tick.
One and one. Young held at first. Scope jammed on that one, and a good pitch foul tipped it into the mitt. 1-2. Buck Showalter saying yesterday Jonathan Scope will get most of his playing time at second base. Been talked about maybe at short, maybe at third, but Showalter said yesterday, I really want to see him at second. 1-2 delivery at a reach and keeps the at bat alive.
Well, when our colleague Mike Bordick says he can play second, you know you don't have to worry about anything defensively. Bordy knows his stuff, and just a matter of getting him his at bats, getting him to be comfortable. The one thing you like about him, he's much like Bogarts, used the whole field when he's hitting ball.
Ooh, Dubron came off awkwardly there. Almost looked like he twisted his back a little bit. 2-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, it just looked to me that maybe the stride a little longer than he wanted it, and you get a hole out there where your foot actually every time lands, and then of course if you, as the game progresses and you get more relievers, sometimes it's hard to actually get your foot into that hole. Looked like he maybe missed it.
2-2 delivered to Scope, and a swing and a miss and a tailing pitch away. So he gets a strikeout, but the Orioles get a couple of runs. They do it on 3 hits. They get some help from Davis with a double, would score on the Wieters RBI. Young get the other RBI, down by 1. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. By Luna. For beautiful new carpet, hardwood, and laminate, call 877-241-LUNA. And by visitannapolis.org. Find it here. Here at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. A 3-2 Red Sox lead. So Wei and Chen now will try and find a way to get through an inning. He's had to work very hard. Somebody on every inning, leadoff man on every inning. Red Sox have stranded 4. And here's Pedroia, who has flied out twice.
Yeah, came in at 11 for 19, so now he's an even 500. 11 for 22 off Wei and Chen.
Chen has thrown 11 out of 20 first pitch strikes. That'll be outside, and a 1-ball 1-strike count of Pedroia. Real good battle. No reason to believe all season long these two teams will not play games like this. In fact, in the whole division, it's probably going to look like this yet for another year.
It seems like the consensus is that the Red Sox who won 97, Tampa behind them at 92. It's going to be more balanced.
Girardi said he thought it was going to take 96 to win the division.
Really?
I think that's a little high.
Yeah, I think most people would concur with that.
1-ball 2-strike count.
96.
Yeah. 1-2 delivery on the way, and a swing and a miss. No, fouled it off. Just got enough to keep the at-bat alive. Count goes to a ball and 2 strikes on Pedroia. A healthy Dustin Pedroia. Just think, Red Sox won the World Championship last year with an unhealthy one as far as that hand's concerned. Puts that one up in the air to left center field. Cruz warning track just shy. And the leadoff man is retired for the first time. Tune into the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report. It'll be tomorrow 5 to 7. Rob Long, Mel Anton, and Dave Johnson and Jim Duquette of MLB Network Radio have continued post-game coverage for you. They'll take a look at some of the recent deals signed across baseball, see how it could impact some of the Orioles. Tomorrow 5 to 7 p.m. the Mid-Atlantic Sports Report. The Orioles have the day game tomorrow in Detroit. 1 o'clock. 12:30 for O's Extra. David Ortiz, RBI base hit in the 3rd, singled in the 1st. Ortiz now on the season. He's picked up 4 hits, 10 at bats, and 3 RBIs. And Chen's pitch will be in there for a strike. Ortiz, the 260 off lefties last year, 339 off right-handers. That's foul back. And Chen gets ahead.
Yeah, well, all of a sudden, when we saw DeBron early on, at least into the 4th inning, really using all his pitches. So we saw a changeup, we saw a slider, 1 for a ball, 1 for a strike to Ortiz from Wei and Chen, and then all of a sudden late on the fastball. It just seems like he can pitch a little bit better. I think sometimes he thinks his fastball is a little bit better than it is.
And then another base hit.
Tries to get a
3-hit ball game for Ortiz. 1-out single here in the 5th inning.
And it's not that you can't throw your fastball, you just can't throw it right down the middle. You can see Ortiz, I mean, great wingspan. He reaches out, that ball outside, maybe 3rd of the plate, but it's up. Down, a little bit harder to get to it.
And Ortiz, that's hit number 10. So the Red Sox 10 hits in the ball game last night. They've got 10 hits already in the ball game tonight. They had 9 in game 1. And Ortiz on with 1 away. Here's Napoli, a struck out hit into a double play. Very short lead for Ortiz, going nowhere, and the off-speed pitch that catches Wieters on the foul ball.
I find it so intriguing. You put the shift on Ortiz, and one of the greatest hitters ever, of course, Ted Williams, one of the first guys they shifted on. And if you hit the ball hard enough, we were talking about that last night, bat speed, balls off your bat, you can hit it through the shift. There's a little changeup, and he's going to foul it right down at the plate, somewhere in the shin protector, or underneath it to get the foot. Sounds like amazing how foul balls can find catchers.
How can you get a ball underneath there? It did.
Doesn't really matter.
0-1 delivery in the air to right. Marquez near the wall. Up. Got it. Runner will go back to first base. Well read by Nick Markakis.
Boy, it's amazing. Pedroia's ball up in Boston would have been a double off the wall, the Green Monster, and then right here, this would have been a can of corn here at Camden Yards. It takes a nice play by a former Gold Glove outfielder to catch it.
Feeling for the wall with that bare hand. So Markakis helps defensively. Ortiz still at first base, 2 down. Bogaerts has had a big night. 2 singles and 2 runs scored. RBIs, Ross brought him in. Ortiz has had an RBI, 1 run scored on a double play ground ball. Those are the 3 for the Red Sox. Bogaerts fouls it back. He is looking for his first 3-hit major league game.
Well, it's hard to get 3 hits when you keep walking.
Yeah. You have to throw strikes to this young player.
Yeah.
Wei Chen does there and gets ahead 0-1.
And that does send a message to the opposition. I mean, when you have the meetings, hey, this guy doesn't chase. You know, maybe he chases with 2 strikes. Right there, perfect pitch. And it moves his feet by hitting the inside corner. Boy, you love to pitch against hitters. I don't mean Manny St. Gian or Clemente or those type, Yogi Berra, those type of guys, but young hitters that swing at balls, that's usually what they're going to get. This kid is an exception.
See what happens here with the 0-2 count. Ortiz off first base and got him in a great pitch that came in on him. So Chen gets his strikeout. He's got 4 of them in the game. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. Orioles down by 1. It's got all kinds of great new giveaway items, fan favorites, new ideas like the Mother's Day camp on May 11, the Orioles Ripcord bracelet on May 25. Promotion schedule, one of the most exciting in team history. So get out to Birdland. Get your tickets. Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD.
So later in the year, your bobblehead, what night is that? Or is it a day? The Gary Thorne
bobblehead.
Yours.
Mine?
Why wouldn't they have one of those?
Us. Where do you want to start? Felix Dubrow. We have a coffee cup with a hole in the bottom. We'll pretty much describe
bobble a do.
Yeah. And the breaking ball in there for you, strike to Flaherty. For those of you who may think that promotions are a new thing in Major League Baseball, here when we get a chance, we're going to tell you about promotion that goes way back. Flaherty will foul that one back.
Yeah, it looked like he was sitting on a breaking ball, which I think he's going to have to do. We've seen it. You know, of course, he doesn't face many lefties, so he had Lester opening day because you want to have good defense at third. He's only 23 at bats against lefties.
And that pitch inside as he moved him off. Dubrow thought he was going to get a call right there and didn't, and the count goes to 1-2. Flaherty grounded out first time up.
He's shaking his head.
He was already waiting for the throw around.
Yeah.
Top of the order, Markakis waiting on deck. 1-2 delivery. And Flaherty couldn't catch up to that one. Dubrant's got his 3rd strikeout. How about this date in baseball history? You're going to just listen to this thing. You take a look here. 1919 on this date, Major League Baseball. One of the promotions, Ping Bodie, who played 9 years in the majors, competed against an ostrich. The ostrich's name was Percy, and they had a spaghetti eating contest. Ping Bodie ate 10 platefuls of spaghetti. The ostrich, on the 11th, actually conked out. Bodie ate the 11th and won 11-10 against the ostrich in a promotion. Bodie was one of the players who roomed with Babe Ruth playing for the Yankees and came up with what is an infamous line. He was asked what it was like to room with Babe Ruth, and he said it's like rooming with a suitcase. And that
so that's where that started.
That's where that started. Popped up, shortstop. And that will be handled. Bogarts gets it. Markakis is retired. And a couple of quick outs here in the inning.
Ping Bodie.
Ping Bodie. He played, he was from San Francisco. It wasn't his real name. He was one of the line of Italian players that would come out of San Francisco into Major League Baseball. But they changed his name when he started playing ball.
Well, so no wonder he liked pasta.
And you said, why would they change his name to Ping?
Because he pinged the ball.
That's exactly what happened. Other players said that's what it sounded like when he hit the ball, so they called him Ping Bodie. He went on to be a carpenter in Hollywood, an electrician, and appeared in some Hollywood movies later. He passed away in 1961, still living in San Francisco. Ping Bodie. 1 ball, 1 strike count on Hardy. Fouled off. Could we get anybody in the Orioles to go against an ostrich in a spaghetti eating contest? What do you think?
Who's Italian?
Tommy Hunter would do it.
Oh, Tommy Hunter would
pretty
much do anything.
Yeah.
Close, start, eat.
That may be the most unusual promotion I've ever heard. 1-2 delivery. Woo. Dubrant just came out working. He retires the side in order. It remains a 3-2 Red Sox lead.
Trailing 3-0. Chris Davis thinks he's got his first home run of the year. High off the center field wall. Brackley makes a nice play to hold it to a double. After a couple of ground outs with 2 outs, Wieters with a double. It's going to score Chris Davis, make it 3-1. And then Delman Young will come up to the plate, slice one down the right field line for a long single. Down making a nice play to hold him. Wieters scores to make it 3-2. And that is Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. There it is. Orioles down by 1 as Chen tries to navigate his way through the 6th inning.
You saw the hit speed coming up there on those balls that were tagged. You see what happens on it. It's the speed of the ball off the bat. And you get to the 80s, 33%, 90s, 60%, you reach base, and you get to the 100 level, 74% of the time you're going to be on base. Doubles, triples usually, more than 90 miles an hour coming off the bat.
I wonder what pop-ups are. We're going to have to
12.
do well. Well, I don't mean a jam shot, but I mean just where you
just a regular pop-up.
And then home
well,
run.
we'll get a pop-up here, and we'll
home run in a silo or whatever they call it.
Okay, we'll see if we can do that for you. 1-0 count, 1-run ball game. 6th inning, Chen and Dubron in a good matchup. Chen up to 82 pitches thrown now. He gets Daniel Nava leading it off. Nava 1 for 2 with the base hit. Middlebrooks, then Ross, 6, 7, 8 in the lineup. Chen has walked none. He has struck out 4. Dubron's issued 1 walk. He has struck out 4. 2 lefties going at it. And a pitch away, and he falls behind 3-0.
So 4 of the 5 innings, leadoff man on, and only last inning when he got Pedroia to fly out to deep left field. And 1 ball away from doing it 5 out of 6 innings.
And he gets it.
Not a good habit to get into. Nope.
Nava getting the starts in right field here in this series. Couple of hits now, and the 11 at bats he's had. 3-1 pitch, and he gets a strike. He'll have to come back, pick up the bat, and contend with Ed Hickox, the home plate umpire, who is likely to find the next pitch a strike if it's anywhere close.
Well, he's got a good eye, but I'm not sure that Ed thinks about that. Well, maybe the edge had it. That's what Ed Hickox, the home plate umpire, thought. No, the ball doesn't have to be over the plate. Only one edge of the ball. Well, you'd like to think that would be the case if umpires have a wide strike zone, but when somewhere.
3-2, and he's gone. We warned you.
Yeah, there you go.
Can't challenge that.
No.
5 strikeouts for Chen.
All you can do is go back and get your glove. Now, early on, this was a strike. This ball right around the bottom of the strike zone. Early on, a strike. And I don't, Daniel Nava seems like a pretty good kid. I don't think he just probably thought the other one, but he did show the umpire up a little bit. So, and I'm sure it's unintentional, but right here it's somewhere close to the knees.
It's a strike.
Yeah.
The other one might not have been, but that one was. Here's Middlebrooks, 1-0 delivery on the way, and that'll be taken.
At least Ed Hickox didn't point at him. He pointed at where the strike was.
That's where it was.
But with his left hand, I just think I saw him kind of going, I got both of you, the strike and you. Get back to the dugout.
Middlebrooks with a single, 1 for 2 in the ball game. 2-0 delivery on the way, and that's outside. And Chen having a little trouble there now. He falls behind again, 3-0, and takes a little walk.
Well, a lot of pitches and a lot of meaningful pitches because you're trailing 3-0 till the last inning. And Dave Wallace knows that. And there he is. We're coming on as the Oriole pitching coach.
Bullpen moving around a little. That ball's going to go into the left field corner. Cruz going over to get it. Middlebrooks on his way to second base. And he's got a double with 1 down. Here in the 6th inning, he is 2 for 3 in the ball game. And it's time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag Masson Orioles for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming game broadcast brought to you by AT&T. I think she's doing it right there. That's 11 hits off Chen, and that is going to tie a career high in hits surrendered by the Oriole left-hander at 11. And now with a runner at second base, obviously 6th inning, these are big runs potential.
And what he's been able to do to this point, I mean, this is how he stayed in the game, is not throw any long balls. Something he did in his first 3 starts 5 times last year.
Meek up in the bullpen. Ross an RBI single. One-0 count and only 1 down. Middlebrooks will get a healthy lead at second base. And the 1-0 is foul back. So Boston gets yet another chance here with a runner in scoring position. They are 1 for 5 tonight, 2 for 20 in the series.
But it does give you an idea, because last year 278, that they can get on base with the best of them.
They've been on. It's trying to get them home here in this series. It's been a little harder. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery to him. That's going to go to third base. Flaherty will hold the runner off the bag. Davis will get it, put the tag on Ross. Middlebrook stays at second. So both first basemen have had to make plays tonight coming off the bag, making that tag, which can be dangerous to a first baseman to get that glove hand in there. We've seen many first basemen injured, sometimes seriously, when that glove and wrist gets snapped.
Yeah, the good thing, both Middlebrooks and Ryan Flaherty playing third for the Orioles have gotten rid of the ball quickly. So when the throws are offline, you're able to catch it, and the runner not getting close to the bag and you trying to make the tag at the same time. That's where you really get those injuries.
Here is Jackie Bradley Jr. Middlebrooks at second. 2 down. Bradley picked up a single in the third inning and scored. Orioles have RBIs from Wieters and Young coming in the fourth inning, and the Orioles got their 2 runs on 3 hits. Chen trying to keep this at a 1-run ball game.
Yeah, he just missed an extra base hit on a high slider. Hit it deep to right field. Markakis ran under it.
That's in there.
So there's your opening day strike. End the game. High and low.
Shane Victorino on the DL. That's why Jackie Bradley Jr. ended up never getting to AAA, even though he'd been assigned. He took Victorino's place on the roster, and thus getting some playing time. Center field in this one. 1-1 delivery on the way. Grady Sizemore, of course, will get a lot of playing time in center, but he will be spelled since he hasn't played for 2 years, so he'll get some time off. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Chen's 2-1 pitch is there.
Well, that's how you pitch. And Matt Wieters going to come out. Perfect 2-1 fastball. Doesn't mean you have to throw him a breaking ball. Just make a quality pitch, and he does. Well, it's a little help too, I guess. I thought it was a little closer than that.
I did too.
That ball was way off the plate.
And the count at 2-2.
Well, it tells me from watching this strike zone, you don't have to throw a strike, so don't. Look at Daniel Nava still shaking his head. The strike zone's got a little bit bigger here in the 6th.
Here's the 2-2 delivered to Bradley, and he's going to get a base hit. Adam Jones, Middlebrooks coming. Here's the throw. Wieters, it's off the mark. And an RBI single for Bradley. And the Red Sox have a 4-2 lead.
Well, we've seen Cruz misplay the ball, didn't get a good jump. And we saw David Lowe last night, base hit right here, second of the night. And I mean, if you make a good throw, he's out, but he doesn't. And then Chris Davis nicks it. I think he's trying to cut it off. So not only do you get Middlebrooks scoring to make it 4-2, you get Bradley into scoring position.
And Buck Showalter on his way out, he'll go to the bullpen. So for Wei and Chen not able to work through this 6th inning, he will leave. Gomes is coming up. Bradley's on at second base. Red Sox have a run in. And our Jiffy Lube pitching change is good, especially when it's your oil getting changed at Jiffy Lube. Give your vehicle relief with regular oil changes at Jiffy Lube and help stretch the life of your engine.
And trying to win for the first time in his first start of the year. One of those games that will be categorized as hang with them, really battled them. But the Red Sox would get 12 hits, kept the ball in the ballpark. 4 out of the 6 innings, leadoff batters on a game where he made a lot of good pitches and then a lot of balls that ended up in the middle of the plate. And Evan Meek will come on opening day, couple of walks, a strikeout, 2/3 of an inning. Great spring for the Orioles. And
Meek working here to Gomes at the top of the order. Appeared here in this series for 2/3 of an inning.
Yeah, he said he had trouble because of it was kind of a blustery day, even though it was sunshine. Yeah, well, Gomes is
going to go down. That one got more of Matt Wieters than it did of Gomes.
Yeah, he really doesn't hardly move at all. Ball way well inside, just leaves the left arm there. He's got a protection. I think he's got a pad there, but I mean that's okay. And somewhere off the body of Matt Wieters. And all that does is get Pedroia to the plate.
And now runners on at first and second. Bradley had the RBI single, advanced to second on the throw. And now the 30-year-old Meek with 2 on, and Pedroia at the plate. And that slider is going to miss outside. Pedroia, after having a 4-hit ball game, his first since August of 2012. Yesterday, has had an 0 for 3 in the ball game tonight. Meek spent most of last year in the minors with the Pittsburgh organization. Orioles signed him as a free agent, pitched in 12 games at the major league level last year. He's appeared now in 157 major league games.
Made an All-Star in 2010.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Bradley at second, Gomes at first. And Pedroia takes a strike on the outside corner, 1-2.
Just about everything other than the split-fingered fastball, that was a strikeout on opening day, is a cutter. In other words, it's going to veer right to left, the lefties, and in on the on the right-handers, and then into the, at least hopefully, to the fist of the lefties. A little right to left movement.
1-2. It's a big at bat here in the 6th inning. And Pedroia's chopper will come back to him. Meek will make the underhanded flip to Davis. So a run on a couple of hits and 2 are left on base. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Red Sox now lead it by 2. Join us again tomorrow. More Orioles action. That's where we'll be. Game 1 of 3 against the Tigers in Detroit. Miguel Gonzalez will take the mound against Anibal Sanchez. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 12:30 with those extra presented by Dodge. Our game at 1. All the access you need right here on MASN. They're 2-0. They were rained out today. Won the Central last year. They've got the ball player of our modern times, at least at the moment, Miguel Cabrera. And there are the probable starters for the series.
Yep.
Right.
Well, I can tell you how to pitch to Cabrera. Get the guys out in front of him and behind him, and don't pitch to him.
Exactly.
Do what Sparky Anderson used to do to Eddie Murray. Get the first two guys out. Eddie be hurt in third. He'd intentionally walk him with nobody on. 2 out in the first inning.
That's way to go. Yes, that is. Let's see if the Oriole bats can get going here. Orioles have been out hit 12-5. They trail 4-2. Chris Davis, a double, a run scored in the 4th inning, 1 for 2. His first hit of the new season. And he's got his second one right there, right over Dubron's head. So the Orioles get the leadoff man on.
Well, that'll work. Like we said, only 1 home run, 174 at bats, but the Orioles, Chris Davis now double his last time up, but score the first run, and then you end up in the middle of the plate, 89 miles per hour to Chris Davis. I don't care if you throw it with both hands, he's going to hit it hard.
So the leadoff man on. Jones and Cruz due up in the inning. Adam Jones a single, and he is grounded out. A couple of hits, 8 at bats in the series. Miguel Gonzalez has already gone to Detroit. He is in Detroit. He'll make the start for the day game tomorrow, so he was sent on ahead. And with the rain out today, we told you the Tigers, Brad Ausmus, the manager, moved Sanchez to the start. Workman in the bullpen. Anibal Sanchez, the weather's just hit him all over the place. He hasn't pitched against major league hitters since March 12. He got rained out of games, including 2 or 3 at the end of spring training, so he was pitching on the backfield, simulated game kind of thing. So that's why he was supposed to pitch today, and Brad Ausmus said after the rainout was announced, I got to get him in there because I got to see him pitch against some major league hitters. It's been too long. So he will go in the ball game tomorrow against the Orioles. Jones, 1 ball, 1 strike. Lefty's pitch, tap foul on a pitch away.
Good changeup. Trying to get Adam to pull the ball, maybe turn a double play. Adams, of course, trying to get something in the middle of the zone and hit it hard.
He represents the potential tying run in this ball game. He's had a couple of hits and 18 at bats now against Dubron.
Have no idea what that was about.
I just didn't feel like throwing to Jones kind of throw.
I guess so. Right? Well, and it's not that he doesn't have speed. It's just that you're down by 2.
1-2. And that will miss inside. 2 ball, 2 strike count. It'll make Chris feel good, though.
Yes.
Pitcher thinks I might run. These managers for virtually all 3 of these games have spent very little time sitting. With John Farrell, Buck Showalter been up pacing. Jones off the fists.
Well, that's what you have to do with 2 strikes. We've seen the Red Sox do a great job of it. You got to try to stay inside the ball and use the whole field. And when Adam is hitting well, when you don't hit 285, 286 the last 2 years, if you don't do that. And Presley looking on, and that was a pretty good pitch. So you're happy you were able to foul that ball off, because the intention was to try to strike him out.
2-2 delivery to Adam, way up high and outside. Adams got 20 hits in his last 19 ball games against the Red Sox. Trying to add one here and get an inning going in the 6th. Dubron trying to hang through here. Red Sox bullpen active. Chen out. He worked 5 2/3, 4 runs, 12 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts for Wei-Yin Chen. 3-2. Davis at first. Fouled off again.
Another good pitch. Hard slider. Tried to cut it in on his hands.
Pretty good matchup in the battle here.
Oh, huge hole in left center. I mean, you can see the balls are up and away and in and whatever, and then the strikes, 1 down the middle and 2 in on his fists, and he fought those off.
The 8th pitch of the at bat, and it's drilled. A little elbow grease, and no. a foul ball.
Hanging changeup. That'll get the bat head out. There it is. It stays up and in the speed at 84. Great extension, but just a little bit too much. Really fortunate for DeBront. That was a major mistake.
Count stays full at 3-2. Davis off first base, nobody out. And Jones will foul that one back. DeBront gave up just 13 home runs last year and only one to a left-hander. Jones just missing that foul pole.
I saw the year that Steve Stone won 25 games for the Orioles. He had a lead. He threw a foul home run. Earl came right out and got him. I've seen enough. In fact, you were talking about Tippy Martinez. In came Tippy.
Yep.
And it was the right move.
It's a signal.
Yes, it is.
3-2 for the third time. 10th pitch of the at bat. Jones again will foul it back. And a battle royal here with DeBront and Jones. Orioles trying to get even on a swing of the bat by their center fielder. Cruz waiting on deck. Davis at first with the single.
Okay, I'm looking at, they play Adam. Bradley's a couple of steps over, but really shallow at center field. Any ball with any authority to the left center field. Look how shallow he is with a 2-run lead.
3-2 is going to be put up in the air to right center. Runner halfway. That'll be handled by Nava. And Jones will be retired. DeBront winning a big battle right there for the first out of the 6th inning. And Farrell, after that long at bat, doesn't want to chance it with Cruz coming up. So DeBront will come out of the ball game. He'll have a chance to be the winning pitcher. Workman had been up, warming up in the pen for some time. A 4-2 Red Sox lead.
Mixed his pitches up well. They got to him in the 4th inning, and then a single here, so he'll leave with a chance to win. Again, no big innings, and meanwhile they were getting him 4 runs. Brandon Workman, saw him last year. We talked about injuries with Craig Breslow on the DL with shoulder problems, and maybe will be back shortly. He was going to go down and actually be a starter last year. AA 5-1, AAA 3-1, and then got a chance to pitch for the Red Sox in 20 games, 3 of those starts. Big power curveball, 92 to 94, throws a lot of strikes. So a chance now to be in one of those hold situations with a 2-run lead.
His first appearance of the season. John Farrell getting Dubront out of there. Cruz coming up. Just as the top of the inning key matchup. Same true here in the bottom half. Davis getting that leadoff single at first with one down, and Cruz trying to pick up his third home run in 3 games. He has grounded out, hit into a fielder's choice. Cruz now's got 4 home runs and 7 RBIs in his last 8 ball games against Boston. He's hitting .353 lifetime against the Red Sox with 14 home runs. One down. And he'll take the pitch for a ball.
And there's the curveball. No history between these two. That's some pretty nice numbers right there.
Davis held at first base, but he's not going anywhere. 1-0 delivery. Down to third and foul. Very deep. Gomes in left field is backed way up defensively. Bradley not quite so deep in center with that speed he's got.
Yeah, I wonder if they would put Sizemore in for defense. We saw last night the defensive change. Bradley came in. And you just give him the night off. I would imagine that would be the plan. Victorino, as you mentioned, with a hamstring on the DL. Mike Carp can play the outfield, but
1-1 to Cruz. 1-2. See where that one hit as it made its way back. Catchers.
Well, last year it might have been cushioned by the beard.
Right off the side.
Yeah, but not this year. Not for David Ross.
Oof.
Napoli has kept his beard and seems to be working with 4 RBIs last night.
Keeps that up. They'll all.
Well, he introduced himself. He said, "You probably don't recognize me with the beard." I said, "No, I know who you are, dude."
1 ball, 2 strike count. Cruz, and he went.
Well, there's a slider. So they started him off with a curveball, came back with a fastball, and able to get the strikes, and then throws about as good a slider as you can throw. Just kind of pull it at the last minute and just slides to the outside corner of the plate. And because he's thrown him the fastball and the good slider looks like that, that's how he's able to get him out in front. Perfect pitch.
So Matt Wieters, the Orioles switch hitting catcher, will come up. Workman actually, the left-handers hit .253 off him, and right-handers hit .296 last year. 2 down. Wieters with a double and an RBI, 1 for 2, and the pitch outside to him for a ball. Capuano in the bullpen for Boston. Chris Capuano. Orioles have Delmon Young waiting on deck, but there are 2 down. Davis still at first base. Wieters, he'll go to right field. That's going to fall in, base hit. Nava will get it in. Runner going to third. No throw. And Matt Wieters 2 for 3 in the ball game. The Orioles first and third, 2 down.
Watch him go down and get this curveball. Right where lefties like it. And he just hits a nice crisp line drive. 2 outs. Chris Davis. The drive cut it off and kind of took a look. And again, the scoreboard tells you you're not going to make a throw.
7 hits now for the Orioles. Wieters has 2 of them. And here again is the player who the manager put in on a gut feeling coming up in a key situation. He picked up an RBI in the 4th inning with a base hit. Now he's got runners at first and third, that being Delmon Young. There are 2 down. And the pitch from Workman will be taken outside for a ball.
Yeah, maybe if you had a veteran lefty on the bench, David Lowe, really partial player last year with Kansas City. He's a left-handed hitter. And then you had a veteran guy with Workman. Not a lot of at-bats against any of them, so you'll take your chances with Delvin Young.
Young will foul it back, pitch riding in on him that time, and a 1 ball 1 strike count.
Of course, with Capuano warming up, you know which matchup would you like. You want a veteran like Young hitting against Workman.
Orioles 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position tonight. 3 for 7 on the series. You see how they worked him when he got that base hit RBI. Got one up in the strike zone.
And went with it, which is what he does so well. Going to try to come in now.
1-1 foul back.
And they get it in there.
So Workman gets ahead on the count 1-2. Orioles trailing by 2.
Well, second round draft choice, and it tells you something. I was impressed the way he was able to pitch last year, starting in Double-A and getting all the way to the big leagues. It seemed like he'd throw his breaking ball in almost any count, and not too many young guys can do that.
1 ball, 2 strike count to Delman Young. And in the dirt, held up on a good stop made by Ross, and we'll hold it at 2-2.
Well, there is nothing, and we go back to Tippy Martinez. They had one of the best curveballs, and when he was doing the interview in the pregame show with Rick Dempsey, Decker was the type of catcher, and you had a good curveball, he didn't mind throwing it, even with a runner at third. Ross is that type of catcher, and he just shoveled it out in front of him.
And that's really why Ross is in the position he's in with the Red Sox. It's that defensive play. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 down. Runners off first and third. And let's take it the distance. 3-2. So at first base, Wieters will be running. Davis at third.
He'll be rumbling.
Rumbling, yes. Another rumbler.
But the advantage, of course, going 3-2, and it's only one ball, is that he will be rumbling.
Napoli will play behind him, so he gets a little bigger lead. 3-2 delivered. And in the dirt, gets away. Wieters will make a turn and head over to third. The ball ended up in the dugout. A run will score. Davis crosses. It is a 1-run game. A wild pitch from Workman.
So he's running on the play, and then I take it all back about bouncing your curveball, because he does it out in front of home plate. And you work on this, but you don't work on blocking the curveball that goes about, what, 60 feet, maybe 4 inches instead of 60 feet 6 inches, and you get yourself a run.
A walk surrendered. The run scores. Davis scores on the wild pitch. Potential tying run now. Wieters at second base. There are 2 down. Jonathan Scope has struck out and flied out. And the pitch will be outside for a ball. The Orioles have picked up all 3 runs in this ball game with 2 down. RBIs by Wieters and Young in the 4th inning with 2 away, and now the wild pitch run that will be charged to Dubron. 1-0 count, 2 away, and Workman wants the signs again. Wieters keeping an eye on Pedroia at second base. He's trying to hold him a little bit close. 1-0 delivery and a wild cut on a pitch away.
Well, slider curveball, you get an idea of how they're going to try to pitch Jonathan Scope. And that was a good one. In fact, it was so good, I'm sure the Orioles were happy he swung through it.
1-1 delivery by Workman. Scope fouls that one back. Fastball. And again, Workman gets ahead on the count 1-2. Wieters at second, Young at first. Scope with a 1-2, outfield shaded to right. They leave that left center field gap open. And a chopper, force at second base, and that's right where the ball goes to Pedroia. So the Orioles retired. They will pick up a run on a couple of hits, leave 2 on 6, complete 4-3 Boston. PNC Bank for the achiever. And you?
So a lot of strikes, 49 out of 77 pitches. Buck Showalter loves him. He's got a nice fastball, 92 to 94. He will turn 21 in a couple of days, April 7th. So got roughed up a little bit, but didn't walk a whole lot of guys. And I don't care when you're that young. I think early on, a couple of years ago, they talked about maybe didn't very much like DeBron to pitch tonight. Great stuff. Maybe the conditioning needed a little work. So they have big plans for him.
Yes.
Because he's left-handed and he throws strikes, got a great arm, and nice, as we said about Felix DeBron, nice repertoire.
David Ortiz leads it off in a one-run game as we go to the 7th inning. Ortiz 3 singles. He's picked up an RBI. By the way, Bowie leads Harrisburg 12-6 in that game in the 8th inning. So he could be the winning pitcher in that ball game for Bowie. 0-1 count. Shift on. Meek came on, hit a batter, got the final out in the last inning. Stays on here. Pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike on David Ortiz. Napoli and Bogaerts to follow. In for Wei Chen. Way out there in the outfield, Jonathan Scope. Ortiz will take the pitch inside, 2-1.
Yeah, normally that would be Manny Machado. If he's healthy, platinum gold glove winner. He's the one that would go all the way out there because of his arm.
Here's the 2-1 delivery.
Yeah, chased the ball. Doesn't happen too often with David Ortiz. Little cutter. Thinks it's going to be up. It's not. Swings over it.
David Ortiz now with a 2-ball 2-strike count. And Meek's pitch is way up high to him, and the count goes full 3-2.
Yeah, he was talking about how slick the ball was on Monday, opening day, and that splitter was kind of, to coin a new word, squished out of his hand. He didn't look like he had much tactile.
And squish in the same sentence.
Exactly.
That one is tactile, but not very deep.
And he tried to squish it, but he got under it. Yeah.
Jonathan Scope is out there to put it away, and Ortiz is retired, 1 away, 7th inning. The Junior Orioles Dugout Club, Birdland's best value in family entertainments for kids 14 and under. Tickets to 10 games, club membership, card, hat, duffel bag, and more. It's only $25. And you get exclusive giveaway items at games. Family and friends get tickets starting as low as $6. Chance to upgrade as well. 888-848-BIRD, Orioles.com/dugout club for more info. Or if you don't want to buy a kid a seat, just put him on your lap. 1 down. Shift on the other way this time. Here's Napoli. He's 0 for 3 in the ball game, 3 for 10 with a homer and 4 RBIs in the series for Mike Napoli. 4-12-0 for the Red Sox, 3-7-0 for the Orioles. 7 left on by Boston and 5 by the O's.
Well, that's the Evan Meek we saw in spring training. See, that's what happens. Talk to yourself after you can't hit the squish.
After your tonsils have given in. 0-2 count on Napoli. And he went, I think. Yep.
Yeah. There's the cutter, and it's a good one. Yeah, because the velocity is about 87 to 89. He just didn't get much field Monday. I mean, this is what they saw in spring training. 93 with great life. And that's how you make an all-star team.
Lance Barrett with a call at first base, and there are 2 down. So Meek's trying to do something that has not happened in the first 6 innings, and that's retire the Red Sox in order. Bogaerts has had 2 singles, 2 for 3, and 2 runs scored. And the young shortstop will take that pitch for a strike. The hope is Meeks will be a very big part of this Orioles bullpen this year.
Well, he hurt the rotator cuff, and boy, had to change his whole windup. And then all of a sudden, I mean, that's what last year you talked about it. I mean, he got a chance to start, what, about maybe 18 games in the bullpen, 15 starts, built up his arm strength, found his arm slot, which is an integral part of pitching, where you release it.
And that'll get down for a base hit. So Bogaerts is 3 for 4, has his first 3-hit major league game. And with 2 down, Red Sox have not been retired in order in 7th.
A right-handed Robinson Cano.
Pretty impressive for the youngster. 13 hits now for the Red Sox. Here's Daniel Nava. Nava single, 1 for 3. He's had a couple of hits now and 12 at bats. There are 2 away. Middlebrooks would be the on deck batter. And that one lashed to center right at Adam Jones. And he's got it. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. 7th inning stretch time here at Camden Yards. It is a 1-run ball game. Trail in this one 4-3. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer back here. And while it's only the 3rd game of the season, Jim, it is one to decide the series. You'd really like to put that away early against Boston.
Well, we talked about the fact that they won 11 out of the last 14 series. You'd like to make it 12 out of 15. You also would like to have done it where Lester, Lackey, and DeBrant has never won here. Of course, if he keeps the lead, he will. So Capuano comes on. He's never pitched in the American League. I saw him in spring training, kind of a finesse lefty. Had a chance to start, so he'll come on. Hails from Springfield, Mass. So he gets a chance.
Right at home.
Yeah, well, maybe. Well, the Orioles are hoping he's not at home here at Camden Yards with a 1-run lead.
And the Orioles hoping their bats, which have shown some life here in the second part of this ball game, now can come alive for them as they have been out hit with the Red Sox throughout this series. But they're right there in this one.
Well, that's the last year, and last year he was with the Dodgers. Probably back the last 2 years. You know, he's had Tommy John surgery, so again, he throws a lot of strikes. You can see righties hit him better than lefties last season, and a lot of home runs by left-handers. In fact, a lot of home runs, 22 on the season. So the Orioles, again, it's can you beat the back end of the bullpen? And their closer, I saw him on the field. We saw him come in last night. Koji, it's his birthday, 39th birthday for Koji, and the Orioles hope that maybe he won't pitch tonight. Give him a night off. Get the lead.
Well, let's see what the Orioles can do here against Capuano as Ryan Flaherty will lead it off. Markakis and then Hardy do up for the O's. Workman 2/3 of an inning. Had a hit, a strikeout, and a walk. And a hit, wild pitch. And a strike taken. Flaherty the 0 for 2 in the game, the 0 for 9 so far to start the season out. In at third base, Middlebrooks against him defensively on the grass at third against Flaherty. 0-1 delivery to him, and that'll be tapped foul on the 79-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch.
So started him off with a curveball, came back with a changeup. They used him as a starter in spring training. In fact, his last start against the minor league teams, against Greenville, their Class A team, pitched a no-hitter for 5 innings with 10 strikeouts. So I guess the youngsters had a little trouble with that changeup and off-speed offerings.
Shift is on against Flaherty. They play him to pull in the infield. And the 0-2 delivery on the way, and he takes it and he's gone. So Capuano starts it with a strikeout.
Slow, and then high heater. Big strike zone, and he takes advantage of it. Gets ahead, and you just can't take this pitch if you've been paying attention. Late call.
One down. Top of the order, Markakis, couple of singles, 2 for 3 in the ball game for Nick. Again, Middlebrooks will play in at third base. Left-handers pitch to him, and that will be there for a strike.
Yeah, it appears that what they did with Chris Capuano is the same thing they did with Brian Mattis. Stretch him out and then use him in the back end of the bullpen.
Middlebrooks backs up now. The 0-1 delivery on the way. Fouled off the other way.
And you can see that's not a rolling breaking ball. It's got a lot of late bite to it.
Zach Britton in the bullpen, the left-hander for the Orioles here in this tight ball game. O's trying to put away a series win against the Red Sox. They've taken 12 of the last 15 against Boston series-wise. Winning last year 11-8 on the year. The only team in the East that had an advantage against the Red Sox on the season. 1-2. These two managers will see a lot of one another, as happens in these 19 games played against division opponents. 1 ball, 2 strike count. In the dirt again, 2-2.
Yeah, coming into this season, almost 1,300 innings. And most of those, 238 starts, actually 209 starts out of 238 games. So most of his career in the National League has been when they give him the ball every 5th day.
2-2 towards the middle. That's right where they were playing him. Bogarts is there and gets it. 7th inning, 2 down. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support Be More for Healthy Babies. The Orioles have drawn 4 walks, total of $200. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Here's J.J. Hardy, 0 for 3, strikeout fly ball, and has hit into a double play. Well, we have a moment. We want to recognize the passing of a great director in our business, Sandy Grossman, who battled cancer, passed away yesterday in Florida. Many of the members of our great crew here in Baltimore worked with him over the years, primarily NFL games. Sandy was very well known and not only a great director but a great teacher for those coming into the business, and we recognize his passing yesterday. 0-2 count, 2 down.
Yeah, former teammates together in Milwaukee. Capuano won 18 games one year when J.J. Hardy was playing for the Brewers.
0-2 delivery on the way. Hardy had a reach. Pedroia. So Capuano comes on and retires the side in order. We've completed 7. It's a 4-3 Boston lead. Earlier in the game, it's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Yeah, big swing, and Ortiz with Bradley reached at first base on an infield hit. Just gets a bad jump and then takes a bad angle to it, and when he does that, the dive allows Bradley to score all the way from first base. So again, it would only be a single by Ortiz, but at the time it would make the score 3-0. Zach Britton comes on, pitched opening day. You can see right there, a couple of innings, 1 hit, no walks, no strikeouts, sinker madness, 6 ground ball outs. That's what he was able to do in spring training.
So he will come on to work. Middlebrooks will be up as we go to the 8th inning. Middlebrooks a double, a single, 2 for 3, and a run scored in the ball game. Zach Britton 1 for 3. Middlebrooks against Britton. Left-hander's pitch fouled off the other way.
Well, this is what he was able to do. A lot of strikes in spring training. Velocity 93 to 95. What Tom Cheedy, the bullpen coach, and Dave Wallace, who came on as the head pitching coach, said, just stop worrying about mechanics. Just whatever it takes to sink the ball. That's what you do best.
And the 0-2 will just miss.
And that's a good one. Because if you can throw the sinker, you can always throw that pitch and come back to the sinker. So again, sometimes paralysis by overanalysis. Keep it simple.
1-2 delivery, and he got him, turned it over, and it went away.
96. You can't throw a better sinker. This is a left-handed Jim Johnson sinker when he had his game. Watch the ball dive, and the velocity is just overwhelming. Tom Cheedy, about halfway through spring training, says, I don't know if there's 5 left-handers in the American League, maybe baseball, that have the stuff that Zach Britton has. And there was an illustration of that dive-bombing sinker.
Different player in spring training than we'd ever seen, as he wanted to be here and was really tough. And he's working very quickly here in the games that he appears in. He did in spring training. You see stepping out, and there was Ross. 1 for 3 at RBI base hit for David Ross. Britton pushes that one down low, and a 1-0 count. Ross to be followed by Bradley, bottom third of the order against the Orioles left-hander. 4-3 ball game. Red Sox have had the lead throughout by as much as 3-0, and then the Orioles picked up the 3-2, 4-3. Our score here, and a wild pitch run scored in the 6th inning by the O's. 1-1.
I think it's very easy to envision Zach Britton starting at some point again in his career.
1-1 delivered, and it'll go to 1-2. Oriole Park, perfect setting for your next group outing. Family, friends, co-workers, colleagues. Get some tickets. Discounted ticket prices for groups as small as 15. Facilities for 1,000. Oriole Park at Camden Yards. Great group outing location. Just go to Orioles.com/group. 1 ball, 2 strike count. And Ross fouls another one off to hold it at 1-2. On the air tomorrow, 12:30 O's Extra. Ball game 1 o'clock. Detroit Tigers. New manager Brad Osmus will be on Masson 2 tomorrow. Miguel Gonzalez, already in Detroit, will start against Anibal Sanchez. Scheduled to start today. Game rained out in Detroit. He will start against the O's. And again, you see Britton trying to get ready to go, and Ross playing a little cat and mouse with him, getting the timeout as he stepped out. One-two delivery. Left-hander's pitch will miss. Breaking ball again. 2-2.
One you love, because last year Zach had good velocity, just couldn't maintain the sinker.
Outfield shaded to right. Here's the 2-2. That'll be in the dirt. So Ross works it to a full count. 3-2. Orioles, Buck Showalter, concerned about rain in Detroit tomorrow. And as a result, Kevin Gausman did not make the start at AAA. He was scheduled to open up for the Tides tonight. He did not. They pulled him out as a starter. He's available to come to Detroit if they need him for a doubleheader potential to work out of the bullpen And ball 4 outside. So Britton surrenders the walk with one away here in the 8th inning.
And it's starting to sprinkle here.
Great. Just great.
Just great. Yep.
So one away, runner on. Here's Bradley. 2 singles, RBI, and a run scored. Center field, hitting 9th, impact player tonight.
Yeah, you mentioned when they told him he was going back to AAA Pawtucket. You don't find too many young players that handled as well as he did. He said it is not going to change the way I go about the game. He's a very confident young man. .419 hitter 2 springs ago. Came up, did not hit well. This year, just got outplayed by Grady Sizemore, and he can accept that. I think any player can.
That's a chopper to the hole. Flaherty will go over to get it. There's one. Relay throw in a hurry. Hey, they got him. Great play by Jonathan Scope. He had to get rid of that with Bradley charging down the line. The Orioles come up in the bottom of the 8th, down a run. Authority of the Baltimore Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Baltimore Orioles. So we are at crunch time as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning with the Red Sox up by 1. Junichi Tazawa now has appeared in all 3 games.
Yeah, he threw the ball well. In fact, he threw the ball well all last year. All 13 postseasons, 1.26 ERA, 71 games. 12 walks in 69 innings, 70 hits. So we saw last night 93, 94, split-fingered fastball to go with it, occasional breaking ball, and not afraid to throw it over.
The Orioles will get the middle of their lineup up against him with Davis, Jones, and Cruz due up. The Orioles getting their runs in the 4th inning. 2-out RBIs, Wieters and Young. They scored the 3rd run in the 6th inning in a wild pitch. Red Sox got on the board in the 2nd inning, double play ground ball. 3rd inning, RBI by Ortiz. 4th inning, RBI single by Ross. And the 6th inning, an RBI base hit by Bradley.
So Chris Davis, 3 at-bats lifetime against Junichi Tazawa, and 0 for 3. He'll lead it off, having a good night, double single.
Chris getting out of the 0 for he had started the night with, now has picked up 2 hits in 9 at-bats. The Orioles need just 1 to get even, and a couple might be enough to put the ball game away. Orioles have left only 2 in scoring position in the game. 3 left in scoring position so far by Boston. A big shift against Chris.
Nobody hardly on the left side. And there's the breaking ball. And not only does he throw it, he throws it for a strike. Doesn't get any more difficult than this. For the Orioles, 3, 4, 5. A lot of firepower coming up.
0-1 count. Chris Davis on the big cut will foul that one back, and Iichi Tazawa gets ahead of the count here, 0-2.
Well, curveball and then splitter. 53 home runs, 33 on deck, 27 in the hole.
Tazawa gave up 9 home runs last year. Lefties, 5 of them, hit 264. Right-handers 266 off him. 0-2 the count. And Davis going for the downs, won't get it. Strikeout, 1 down.
Well, that is about as good as you can pitch anybody. Gets ahead and then watch this splitter just dive. Just amazes me. I mean, it constantly amazes me. Guys can come in with this kind of command in these kind of situations and use all their pitches. That's why, if you're starting, you give up a run in the first inning. You got, I'm going to pitch another 6, 7, 8. My 6, 7, 8 innings, 9 innings, whatever the case is. Relievers, not a lot of room for error. Not in those one-run games.
Adam Jones, couple of hits and 7 at bats off Tazawa. 1 down. And Jones will take the pitch inside for a ball. Adams had an 0 for 2 and a walk in the game tonight, so a couple of hits and 19 at bats to start the season for the Orioles center fielder. Infield gives Jones the middle on the shortstop side. Outfield pretty much straight away. 1-0 delivery. Jones will go the other way, and that will be foul. And a 1-1 count. Follow the Orioles all season long with the award-winning MLB.com at bat for your iPhone, iPad, Android, BlackBerry 10, or Windows Phone 8. Audio scores, stats, breaking news, highlights, and more. Just text at bat 31826 or go to Orioles.com for details. That's how many pitches it took. 11 of them in the last at bat before he was retired on a fly ball to right field. That's how they pitched him. Pretty much all over the place.
And that would be LeBron's last at bat.
That's going to be in the gap, right center field. Going over to get it, Bradley. He'll get there in a hurry and hold him to a single. So Jones, the base hit with 1 down here in the 8th.
Boy, that's a thing of beauty. Fastball out over the plate. Good hitters go with it. Don't try to pull it. I mean, it's not a bad pitch. Probably right on the outside third of the plate. He just shoots it into the gap. And Bradley scurries over to keep it from being a double.
Now Cruz, as he got another long ball in that bat for 3 games, 3 homers. He's 0 for 3 in this game. He's had 3 RBIs in the series. 1 down. And a ground ball to the hole. Bogart's backhands. Pedroia will get the out. Puts a tag on to make sure. Smart play by Pedroia. He wasn't sure that he was on the bag, I don't think, and so he went back and he tagged Jones coming across the bag on the slide.
Yeah, that'd be nice play by Bogaerts. There's your snap throw. And then right there, you're out anyway. Very, very close. Dana DeMuth, the throw beats him probably about a quarter of a step. Of course, Adam, his intent is probably going to be out, hustles it in, but there's not going to be a double play. Wasn't going to be one anyway because the ball was hitting the hole.
So 2 down now. Cruz on the fielder's choice. Here's Waiters. Double, single, RBI, and a run scored. And Matt will take the pitch for a strike. We've already seen the confusion continuing about that play at second base when you have the force out, and whether it's not supposed to be subject to review, the issue of whether or not you touch the bag or not. That's supposed to be up to the umpire's discretion. However, the plays have been reviewed, and what they've said is they're reviewing the throw to the bag and whether or not it pulled the second or baseman or shortstop off so that they did not touch the bag, rather than being just a in the neighborhood play where the coverage, whoever was covering, decided just to get across the bag early.
And that was something they negotiated with the players union, only because they're trying, just like the tag at home plate, they're trying to keep people from getting hurt. But if the throw forces you off the bag, then all of a sudden you can go out and fairly argue the play.
1 ball, 1 strike count on Wieters. And that'll go to the gap, left center field. Bradley coming over, can't get to it. He'll cut it off. Cruz goes to second base, and the Orioles, runners at first and second. There are two away. 2 hits in the inning.
I wonder if Buck Showalter's thinking about pinch running for Nelson Cruz. 2 outs though. Good enough speed to be able to score. In the last couple of years, some quad and hamstring problems. Worked hard on his legs in the offseason. Of course, didn't know which team he was going to sign with. Late signee by the Orioles.
Wieters now has a 3-hit ball game. Tonight, 2 for 6 with runners in scoring position. 2 for 8 for the Red Sox. Base hit here can tie this game up. 2 down. Delman Young. RBI base hit. Strikeout and a walk. Zawa's delivery to him and a chopper. Pedroia. He's got it, and he's got the out. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. 2 are left on base, and we will go to the 9th inning. 4-3 Boston. Southwest Airlines. Find Southwest Airlines fares online only at southwest.com. And by Navy Federal Credit Union. Navy Federal Credit Union is proud to serve the military. If you're a member of our nation's armed forces, the Department of Defense, or if your family is, we'd be proud to serve you too. Light rain still falling here at Camden Yards as we go to the 9th inning of this 1-run ball game. Zach Britton will stay on the mound. Faced only 3 in the 8th. Gave up a walk, but got a ground ball double play to get out of it. He goes against the top of the order. Gomes, Pedroia, and Ortiz.
And the 3 ground ball double plays for the Orioles tonight. That's how you give up 13 hits and only 4 runs.
And a strike on the outside corner.
Boy, this is some nasty, nasty stuff.
Gomes has got a 2 for 5 off Britton. But that was a different Britton than what we're seeing right now.
Well, Pedroia is 5 for 8, so it'll be interesting to see how they handle this stuff.
1-1 single for Gomes came in the 1st inning. He got hit by a pitch in the 6th. Pedroia on deck.
I'm not really sure that if the ball is down and away with the sink that we've seen, that you could pull the ball. I mean, how do you pull that ball?
How do you hit it?
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, the bottom's dropping out at 93. Remember Johnny Betters, who had the Tommy John for Atlanta? That's the kind of stuff that he had as a reliever. You just could not make the ball sink any better than that.
1-2 count. Then came back inside on him and turned it foul. It'll stay at 1-2. Gomes, who hasn't hit for an average in his career against the Orioles, but has found the long ball. He's only hit .209 against the Orioles coming into the game, but he's had 12 home runs, 9 of those hit in this ballpark.
Well, you could see the open stance. I mean, you know, he'll cover the plate he'll close up a little bit. You can see it there, and there's a breaking ball.
He's going, whoa.
So 93 to 96 down and away, and then a dive bombing slider. This is Ron Guidry, Sparky Lyle, one of the great left-handers, Steve Carlton. You think it's going to stay in the middle of the plate, and it just keeps coming at your back leg.
Spike Showalter likes to say, the hitters will tell you how you're pitching. Take a look at the swing. Well,
yep.
Take a look at that swing. Here's Pedroia, 0 for 4, and the fastball up high to him. 1 down, 9th inning. Orioles trying to hold it at 1. Scope, Flaherty, and Markakis will be due up for the Orioles in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Flaherty over towards the line at third base. Pitch away. 2-0 count.
So I think what basically Dom Sheedy and Dave Wallace, the new pitching coaches, are saying, hey, just make it sink and figure out how to do that. Don't try to get too complicated. You know, make them put it on play on your terms. And I mean, here's a perfect example. Pedroia, really good fastball hitter.
Drives it down the line, right field. Markakis, a long run. Not going to get it. Fair ball. Rolls over into the corner off that door. Pedroia is going to go to second base and a stand-up double.
They'll now make it 6 for 9. Count has a lot to do with it. Ball is up a little bit. As we said, one of the great high ball hitters in the American League, not only baseball. So this one doesn't sink because you have to throw a strike. And Nick Markakis makes a nice play on this because Pedroia, with his speed, is thinking 3 bases. And with 1 out, they'd love to get a guy with less than 2 outs to third base.
Big potential run. David Ortiz, 14 hits now for the Red Sox. Ortiz, he's had a 3 for 8 with a homer off Britton. The shift put on against him with Hardy, the shortstop closest to second. He'll try and hold Pedroia a little bit. Ortiz has already had a 3 for 4 with an RBI, 3 singles in the game. He's also popped out. Pitch taken down low for a ball. Webb getting ready in the bullpen. Ryan Webb. 1-0 count. 1-run game, and Zach Britton surrendering the double to Pedroia. 1-0 delivery. That's going to be there for a strike. A 14-hit attack for the Red Sox after they had 10 hits in the ball game last night and 9 in game number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike count. And fouled off at the plate. $20,880 the announced attendance for the ball game. 20,880. And they've seen a good one. Red Sox fans and Orioles fans have both had 3 good ball games here to start the season out. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Pedroia dancing around at second. I think Wieters, who asked for the check at third base, was really not checking the swing. He was checking the location.
Yeah, that ball's low. But what I like is it looks like Zach Britton had a little bit of idea what he wanted to do. That wasn't just Powder River. It was just trying to hit that outside corner and just missed.
2 ball, 2 strike delivery to Ortiz. Ground ball into the shift. And the play made by Jonathan Scope. Pedroia will move over to third base. Ortiz retired. 2 down, 9th inning. So the shift works. Koji on his birthday waiting. Chance for a save in the ball game right now.
Yeah, he'd like an extra run.
And Pedroia's at third. Here is Mike Napoli. Napoli the 0 for 4, a couple of strikeouts, fly ball out, and he is hit into a double play in the game. He has an 0 for 3 lifetime off Britton. Infield will be back deep. Flaherty guarding the line a bit at third, although he's moved now back out to a more normal position. 2 down, and the pitch down low for a ball. The light mist continues to fall. 1-0 delivered to Napoli.
What was that movie? Ray Milland way back. Happens every spring. You put the substance on the ball and it was allergic to wood.
Happens every spring.
Right. Well, that's the way Britain's making.
For Britain, it's happened this spring.
Yeah, it's right now in the rain.
Yeah.
The ball's down to lingering.
Breaking ball fooled him. That knotted him up 1-2.
Yeah. And a good one.
Fans cheering for the strikeout. 1-2. Pedroia off third base.
Wow.
Wieters out to get it.
Well, it seems like it's routine, but at 95, diving and running away from you, that's a pretty nice snag by Matt Wieters.
No time to move the body on those.
He just reached away and got it in the webbing.
Two ball, two strike delivery. Chased it. Britton goes to the bag himself. Smart play. Gets the out on Napoli. No runs, one hit, no errors. One left on base. Can the Orioles get it done? Bottom of the ninth inning. Scope, Flaherty, and Markakis due up. In the rain, take a look at our Lexus of Towson drive of the game. Chris Davis.
Oh yeah, he'll double off the wall. He thought it was out of here, and then beat it. And Bradley does a nice play. He'll end up scoring the first Oriole run. Orioles down 3-0 at the time.
Our drive of the game brought to you by Lexus of Towson, the area's #1 Lexus dealer. Come see why at LexusofTowson.com.
So Koji comes on. Saw him last night. Kind of a tune-up. Inning, a hit, a strikeout, splitter fastball, slider he hardly ever throws when he's closing, and coming off about his, I mean, he had what, 44 appearances that were where he didn't give up any runs. Luke Gregerson made 45, and if that was perfect, he had 7 saves and 13 appearances in the postseason as the Red Sox went on to become world champs. And the amazing thing is that he throws the ball over the plate. 74 innings, only 33 hits, 9 walks, 101 strikeouts.
Koji will work in his 13th game against the Orioles. He has an 0-1 record. 1 for 1 in save opportunities. He's got that opportunity here. He's given up 6 hits in 10 2/3 innings against the Orioles. The Orioles will try and get it done here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Jonathan Scope will take the pitch for a strike. Scope, fielder's choice, is struck out and flied out.
Well, he makes a perfect pitch outside corner, and now all of a sudden he can ride the fastball and throw the splitter.
Scope chasing.
And there's the split-fingered fastball. So he pitched it really, if you're a hitter, one at the eye level, then one that just plummets.
0-2 the count. And Scope on 3 is gone.
Boy, he's fearless. 39 years old today. Came over from Yomiuri in Japan all the way back in 2009 for the Orioles. And was a starter, at least for a while.
Red Sox trying to break the streak of the Orioles having won 5 consecutive one-run ball games against the Red Sox. One down here in the 9th inning. Here's Flaherty. Ryan Flaherty. He'll take the pitch up high. 2 strikeouts. Grounded out, looking for his first hit of the year, as he has an 0 for 10 coming to this at bat. 1-0 delivery to him, will be popped up third base. Middlebrooks.
Well, that's great pitching and great pitch calling by David Ross. You got a fastball hitter. You don't want to leave one in the middle of the plate, because that's when Ryan Flaherty becomes a home run threat. So they throw him when they're behind in the count, a little split-fingered fastball. And again, it's not a great one, but it changes the speed of the ball, and Flaherty pops it up.
Dubron looking to get a win in this game. 5 1/3, 3 runs on 6 hits. The Red Sox starter. Wei-Yin Chen gave up 4 on 12 hits over 5 2/3, facing the loss. Marquez still with an out to work with. Koji throwing strikes, 0-1 on Nick. A couple of singles in his first 2 at-bats. He's popped out and grounded out since. Red Sox looking for a win to take the series. That ball's popped up. Middlebrooks. Game over, and the Red Sox win the series. So Koji comes on and gets a save on his birthday, and the Red Sox get a 4-3 victory. So the Red Sox take